Hello everybody and welcome back to Odin's movie blog. I am the critic who is a cynic. How is everyone doing this evening? Yes indeed, happy 16K day. We technically hit 16K last night by the end of the last live stream, but we are indeed here. We hit 16,000 subscribers. This is insane. It feels like yesterday that we hit 10,000 subscribers, so it's just been really cool to see the growth of the channel, and of course I owe all of that to you guys for showing love, support, dropping the likes, coming to the live streams, sharing the channel, sharing the videos. Everything that you guys do for the channel is truly amazing, and I truly appreciate every single thing that you do. So seriously, from the bottom of my heart, thank you, thank you, thank you. And this would, again, not be possible without you guys. So what is going on, peeps? The Senate says congrats. Thank you very much, the Senate. I am the Senate. Vlady, what's going on, Vladdy? 777, Chubby Teddy Monster Productions, Dion Gannison, Perth Comics, G Monkey, Darkstar, Dion, A Glitch Gnome, Gannison Elite Troll, J Roar, Soul Assassin, Mr. Peabody, Tina is here, Steph is here as well. Bruce says, dive to 16,000. Thank you very much for that. Mr. Millennium, what's going on? Moons of Madness, Mirror, Jeremy, Mr. Peabody, A Glitch Gnome, Truth Apocalypse, what's going on? And Mex is here as well. What is going on, people? What's going on? Alrighty. So guys, remember that because of the current situation that I'm going through, which I will actually go into a little bit today, so I will let you guys know what's been going on my end just a little bit, so that way you guys have a little bit more understanding. I can't go into too many details about it for obvious reasons, for professional reasons, but I can at least give you kind of an update as to why I was asking for prayers on Friday and why I've kind of been in, a bit of a funky mood. But I will say this much: whenever I come on these live streams, whenever I join the, when I was on the High Council the other nights, and just everything that I've been doing, obviously my wife Freya has been a tremendous help, and it's just been awesome. So seriously, all the support, all the love, it's just been so much fun. So seriously, y'all have been helping me get through this. But also remember, because of that, you have to put at Odin's movie blog in order for it to show up. In order for it to show up as orange. So I see a bunch of y'all have indeed learned that. So Gannison says, hail. Dion says, congrats on sweet 16K. Thank you very much. Mr. Peabody says, wow, 3 times in a row, time or early. Love you, Odin. I know, right? It's been a great week for that. It's been a great week for that. Moons of Madness, thank you very much. A Glitch Gnome, thank you very much. Mex says, tired. My first nephew was born early this morning. Emmett Odran. Well, congratulations, Mex. I know what it feels like to have the first nephew / niece, and it's a really cool experience, so congratulations, Uncle Mex. And yeah, please have fun with it. Enjoy the youth. My oldest nephew at this point, he's, oh man, I think he just turned 5. It's so crazy because the time just flies, and you just think to yourself, oh my goodness, has it really been that long? And it's just really amazing just to see them grow up. So seriously, enjoy it, man. It's going to be a fun time. Slicer Neon says, congrats on your splendid victory. Let the nectar of Yggdrasil flow freely as we celebrate your downright Slicer Neons. Of course. Dan Maloney says, always good to see you live. Odin, congrats on 16K. Well, thank you very much, good sir. Thank you very much for that. It's been really cool to actually be on 3. I haven't been on this many times in a row in a long time. I would say probably when I started doing the YouTube channel or rather when I started doing live streams for the YouTube channel, that's when I started to do live streams like all the time. Like seriously, the guys who have been here for a long time know that back in the day, Odin was on like almost every single night. It was insane how much streaming I was doing. Looking back on that in retrospect, I was streaming way too much. I was like setting myself up to be burnt out, and not only that, but also I was, I didn't realize at the time just how much time I was not hanging out with Freya. So, because I was just so like, oh my gosh, this is new, this is fun, I'm talking, this is great, the channel's growing, everything's awesome, and so yeah. Thank you so much for being a part of all this. Thank you so much for supporting me the past few days. And I don't know who else might be streaming tonight, but whoever they are, I'm sure they are awesome. So if you want to go support them, hey, I would still appreciate you just dropping by a like, even if it's just for a little bit. Upgrade. What's going on, man? Welcome to the channel. And J Roar 123, welcome to the channel. Great to have you here. And yes, indeed, you have Willow in the background, as you can see. She probably will be laying her head down in a little bit because she gets tired very quickly, and she usually sleeps in that chair. Peabody says, I am a nurse if you need an ear. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. No, I mean, I've been very open and honest about my allergies. My allergies have been a major issue. I've been very straightforward with that. That was not, as I mentioned, I try to make very clear, the thing that I've been dealing with is not health related. So don't worry about that. It's not health related, but I still, think it's serious, and I think that once I explain, it'll make a little bit more sense. Perth Comics says, great appearance on the High Council. Very funny. Thank you very much, man. Yeah, it was so funny to read some of those comments, though, because there's some people in there who are just not used to me, and they were like, okay, Odin, we get it. Oh, Odin, please stop. And I'm like, no, I'm having fun. Because if I'm having fun, most likely a couple of other people are having fun, and that is what matters. It's all about having a good time. Having a good time, having a good time. Rogue Baron says, Odin is reconsidering his religious identity as he discovers the powers of his all-fathers. Yes, of course, yes, indeed. Mary! What's going on, Mary? Woohoo! 16K. Thank you very much, Mary. Gannison, yes, Gannison, I've been waiting for this comment. So Alien Queen will become Disney princess. Well, I think that requires them to be a princess, and I don't think the Alien Queen was ever a princess. However, because just of the hilarity of that, yes, Alien Queen is now a Disney princess. Officially, guys, as of midnight, for those that do not know, again, you see it in the title of the video because I'm going to talk about it a little bit. I'm assuming that you're going to have a few questions about it as well. So last night at midnight or this morning, depending on how you want to look at it, the deal between Disney and Fox is finalized, which means Disney now owns the rights to so many new properties and has so many more opportunities to screw those properties up. As I talked about the video today, I really hope that what they do with X-Men and Fantastic Four is not try and say, oh, we can do whatever we want now. Look what we did. We did Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel is going to be $1 billion film. Look at what we were able to put into that movie. Look at all the politics and everything around that we were able to put into that. We can get away with it because we're Disney. We're huge. No, that's not how it works. MCU, 22 films, 11 years. You built a huge fan base. They're going to show up. Disney, as you can see, tried to say screw you to the fans and said, oh, wait a minute, we didn't take the time to actually build this new audience that we were trying to build. You can't use one movie to build a brand new coalition. Oh, but it made $2 billion. That's because it was a Star Wars movie coming out for the first time in a long time, and people were excited. So, once again, if they try and do something similar with X-Men Fantastic Four, like they're doing now with the MCU going into Phase 4, that's going to be a problem. What they need to do is they need to basically have X-Men Phase 1. I know that they're going to be a part of the MCU, and Fantastic Four are going to be part of the MCU in some way, but when it comes to those characters and introducing those characters and developing them, they pretty much need to start from square one and have a Phase 1 of the X-Men universe within the MCU and build that way. Build good stories based heavily in the comics and still also trying to appeal to the normies, because guess what? That's how it leads to success. Do I like that necessarily? I mean, obviously I'm looking at what they're doing right now with the movies and saying no, because now all they do is care about the normies and not actually wanting to throw any bones to the hardcore audiences. So I'm looking at that saying, I don't know. Again, I'm trying to think of this from two different perspectives. I'm trying to think of it as a, what do I want to see? But also at the same time, I don't want to see X-Men just go into the garbage either. So I'm kind of torn on that one. But yes, Disney Princess indeed. Truth Apocalypse had the last comment before the chat jumped on me again. La 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 la. Truth Apocalypse says, have you been to Valhalla yet? It's amazing. Yes, of course. I have my chosen of Valhalla who will be on this channel at the end of the month, on the 31st of March. I will have my patrons on the channel. If you want to be a patron and if you want to be featured on the channel once a month on a patron-only stream where all the patrons will be able to come on the stream, the ones in this specific tier, and be able to talk about whatever they want to talk about, share whatever they want to share, well, then go over and check out the Patreon page and see if that's going to be something for you. You also get a t-shirt for your first month. So you do indeed get some benefits, I would say, in that tier. But it's totally up to you if you want to support that way. Let's see. Darth David R says, congratulations on 16K. Thank you very much, man. Perth Comic says, thanks for Empire Strikes Back and Black Swan. Prezi incoming in 2 to 3 weeks. Oh, well, Perth Comics, thank you very much, man. You did not have to send me anything, but I appreciate that, and I hope that you enjoy them. Yeah, I figured I have a lot of Blu-rays that are, just, they're kind of like extras because as you can see, I have a lot of Blu-rays. I have a lot. And over my time of collecting, I've gotten certain box sets, and certain box sets have movies that I also already had single single discs for. And so I was like, okay, let me make a pile of these, and then I can just give them away, and I can do these as far as the giveaways. And I found myself more people wanting to get the Star Wars Specialized Editions than anything else. And so I was like, okay, well then I'll just start giving them away and putting them as like bonuses to the prizes that I do. And so hopefully you enjoy it. Black Swan is indeed, I think, a pretty solid flick. It's not the best in the world, but it is, Aronofsky, I think, at his best. And I think that it also really does show that Natalie Portman has a lot of talent when it comes to acting when she puts her mind to it. PY says, I know what you mean. My oldest nephew is 26. Oh my goodness. God of Thunder. CWD Trixie says, congrats on 16K. Zig Zeon. Cedric Gaming says, since Disney owns Fox, does that mean they own Alita, or is it still owned by Cameron? See, this is the #1 question, because I think what it means is, because here's the differences. As far as intellectual property goes, I think that Cameron might own Alita's intellectual property, just like I think he owns Avatar's intellectual property. When it comes to distribution, though, I think Disney owns the rights to Avatar. So, for example, I think that as far as Blu-ray releases, things like that, then that is a Disney production. Meaning that I think, based on this, if James Cameron wants to release another film, even though he owns the property, if he wants to distribute the film, he doesn't have the rights to that, and I think he has to play ball with Disney. I could be very much wrong on that. I want to do some more research into that, because I found that interesting, because there were certain things like X-Men and Fantastic Four that we knew they were going to get, but then there were some other projects too that were listed, like Avatar. And obviously Alita was a Fox property too. So what I'm imagining is that he still owns the IP for Alita, but maybe not distribution rights. So it's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out. Very, very interesting indeed, I would say. So 10% Gaming had the last comment, if the chat jumps on me. Max says, I know what you mean about allergies. They suck. Oh my gosh. And I have, so if anyone knows anything about allergies, when you get allergy tested, there are 6 levels, like there's 6 stages essentially when it comes to allergies, and 6 is the highest level. That means like you are the most allergic to anything. And I have a class 5. I think it's called classes. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm making it up, but I do know this much. Out of 6, I have a class 5 allergy to oak pollen. And right now we are in prime oak pollen season. And also at my work, we work underneath oak trees, and so literally I am just like dying all day, and I didn't bring my inhaler to school, and it's just like, oh my goodness, it was rough for a little bit, but I'm doing okay. Rapping Odin is the best. I saw that comment. Everyone loves rapping Odin. JKD Buck says, you doing okay? You told us the other night something was on your mind and asked for prayers. If you don't want to discuss, that's certainly okay. We love you. Okay, JKD, thank you for bringing that up. So, yes, indeed, I will now share the news. Again, I'm not going to be able to go into full details about this, but the reason why I was asking for prayers on Twitter, and the reason why I've kind of been, avoiding it, is because I wanted to make sure my students knew that I am not going to be returning to the school that I currently teach at, and that it's something that was not my choice. It was something that was essentially chosen for me. I was not offered the ability to join the school next year. So I'm not going to mention any names, because obviously I don't want to make any type of public situation. I just want to share it with you guys, though, that at this point in time, again, my contract goes up by the end of this school year, and then I'm no longer affiliated with the school that I'm currently at. And so I wanted to make sure that all of my students that I teach knew before I said anything or made any type of public statement about it. And I really can't say much more than that, just again for out of professional courtesy and out of just a lot of moving pieces and a lot of moving parts. But yeah, so I can't go into details as to why. All I can say is that it was not my choice to not be a part of my school anymore. It was not my choice to leave, and I'm very saddened by it. It came out of nowhere. It kind of blindsided me, to be honest, and I saw a lot of questions, of course, but at the same time too, I think that overall the school will be stronger for the decision that is being made. Basically, the reasoning behind it all, I think, is one, in the long term, that will be a good thing, though it definitely hurts to be part of the moving pieces, essentially. And I really can't go into too much more. I'm trying to be very careful with the way I word it, but basically I was I wasn't fired, but I was not offered a renewal. Because the way, if people that don't know, the way that it works in the Catholic school system is that you are offered year-long contracts. So obviously there's no unions or anything like that. Not that I ever really would want to do that anyway, but essentially it's a year-to-year contract, and then they can either choose to re-up or they can choose to move on at the end of the year. And so they have decided to move past. And for those that don't know, I'm very passionate about my work. I am very proud of the work that I do in the classroom, and I have a very strong passion for teaching my guys and for looking out for their best interests. And so that's the reason why I was personally affected by it so much. And Friday was very tough. Saturday was very tough. But you guys seriously helped me a lot. The streams that I jumped on Friday and Saturday seriously lifted my spirits so very high. And it really does mean a lot that you guys have been so supportive, that you guys have reached out to me and just offered your kind words. And it really, again, does mean a whole lot for all that. So seriously, thank you so much. And if there are any students watching or parents or whatever, just know that, I'm going to be okay. And again, I hold, no ill will, and I understand that decisions need to be made. And I know that I am not privy to all information as far as why decisions are made. But at the end of the day, also, I am sad to be no longer, as far as, by the time the school year ends, to no longer be officially affiliated with my guys. The guys that I've been with. I have one class, for example, where there's about 3 guys that I've taught for 3 years in a row, and I've gotten to see them grow up literally before my eyes. And it's very sad that I'm not going to be able to see them as seniors next year, and then I'm not going to, be around to support them as they make choices for colleges and things like that. And that's why it's hit me the hardest, I think, is because of that. Obviously, the looking for another job, things like that. I mean, those are things that, I have faith in God, and I trust that those things will, work themselves out. And I'm in the process of getting that process started, because obviously I needed a couple of days to kind of process everything. But those are the things, with my guys that I think I'm never going to be able to truly, just move on from. And those are the toughest things for me going forward. So anyway, thank you again for those prayers. And I don't know what y'all guys thought that it might be, but I hope that you can understand why it was so serious for me, and also why I'm kind of having to word things the way that I am wording them and not being too specific. And also, I'm sure the chat's going to jump on me for an insane amount. So if I missed your chat, I am sorry. But luckily, because of this glitch that's currently in the system, so now I can explain the glitch. And so basically, because I am now reaching out to other employments, the email that was attached to the chat that I use, the Streamlabs that I use, is my full name, is my actual name. And so because of that, I had to change it because, so before that, it's my actual name now, which is why nothing pops up. But before then, it was simply Odin. Like, that was the name associated with it. And of course, as someone who's trying to reach out in, a professional capacity to other places, I did not want that to pop up. Hopefully that makes sense as to why I don't want that to pop up, because it's going to be a lot of questions like, wait, what? So I had to change it back to just my full name. So that way that's going to be what appears to them when I send those emails out. And so that's the reason why I was like, oh, that's why it's not popping up as orange anymore. And so that's why for now, at Odin's Movie Blog is going to be the only way that I'm going to actually be able to see your comments as far as highlighting them. So if you want to ask questions, or if you have comments that you want me to read, please just at Odin's Movie Blog. Again, the full channel name with all the spaces and all the punctuation, etc. I know if you're on a mobile device, that's going to be very difficult, and I'm sorry for that. But if you can just copy and paste some other comments that you see that I read, that hopefully will make that a little bit easier. So again, thank you so much for that, guys. Let's see. Carlos Crespin, thank you very much for the super chat. Says, do you think Alita could have at least reached $100 million domestically had it not been for the show media? Could Alita 2 fare any better? I think that Alita would have been a hard sell either way, to be perfectly honest. I think that even if the only chance I think that Alita would have had to get to $100 million is if the media were like gung-ho about it. I think that if they were as protective of Alita and as supportive of Alita as they were of Captain Marvel, that you would absolutely have seen this movie done much better at the box office. Because keep this in mind, if you think about how many articles, how many publications, how many articles went out of their way to write something, to, you know, to support, etc., to spin the narrative, all this stuff for Captain Marvel. Imagine if they had done that for Alita. Guaranteed would have gotten the name recognition out there, would have made more people interested, and would have picked up the money. But, you know, basically, unless that had happened, I don't think that, you know, for example, if the media hadn't said anything about Alita, if there were no reviews whatsoever for Alita, it still would have been a hard sell, because a manga adaptation is still going to be a hard sell to an American audience, unfortunately, at least at this point. Hopefully that changes. I think Alita 2 will probably fare better, because I think that it's going to have a second life on DVD and Blu-ray. That's just a thought. It's not based in anything other than the passion that I know is, you know, behind the Alita fan base. So, I mean, Gannison, who is known as Alita Troll in the chat, sent me this. It says a Funko Pop of the Alita in the Berserker outfit. Unfortunately, because it is the Funko Pop, you can't really have the eyes effect, but now she is staring at me, so I did find a place for her on one of my speakers, which of course is now moving because she is so heavy in the head. But now she's staring at me every time that I do videos and live streams. So thank you again, Alita Troll, for that, and it's been awesome. Let's see. And so thank you also, Carlos, for the super chat. Let's see. Roldy, thank you very much for the super chat. Says, love the live stream with your Irish sister, Julie. It was great. Need to get her on High Council. Prayers for you, brother. Romans 8:28. Stay strong. Thank you very much, man. Really do. Really appreciate that. And absolutely, man. Absolutely. And that's why I do have faith. I do trust in God. I do trust in his wisdom. And I know that he would not put me in any situation that I would not be ready for. And I know that at the end of the day, everything will be fine. And my prayers that, you know, my prayers at the end of the day are for my guys, because it's a very difficult time in their life where they're asking questions, they're confused, they don't know and don't understand everything. And it's been really great to kind of be there to try the very best that I can, not always succeeding, but to at least try be that rudder that, you know, tries to guide them in the right direction. And so it's hard for me to think that I'm not going to be that anymore in that official capacity by the end of the year. So that's, you know, but thank you. I really do appreciate that, Rold. It really does mean a lot. And trust me, man, I've been pushing for my Irish sister, Julie. Julie, if you're watching this right now, I sent that stream to Jeremy. Jeremy has already heard about you. So Jeremy is going to be looking into it. Again, there's no promises here. Obviously, I have no control over who gets on the High Council. I have no control over who gets on Geeks and Gamers. All I can do is say, hey, I really like this channel. I like this content. I think you should check it out. Jeremy makes the ultimate decision. So I personally have confidence in Julie's content. I think that it's strong. I think that she's great. I think that she would be a great voice for the channel, to be perfectly honest. I think that she would bring in a lot of new people, and because of her view on things and also the way she presents herself. So we'll see what happens, but don't worry, I'm pushing for it. I am definitely pushing for it. So let's see. Alita Troll says, I'm more concerned for Predator and Alien franchises. That's right. You could see a Disney reboot of those franchises. That is a very good point. And the last thing that we need is identity politics in those, because seriously, if they ever did that to Predator or Alien, like that at that point, it'd be like, all right, Disney, seriously. It makes some sense, at least when you do it in Star Wars, but when you're dealing with like actual just alien monsters and Predator creatures, come on, man. Come on, man. 8-Base Nayboy says, hey-oh, miss you live on the High Council yesterday, but caught up earlier. Hilarious. Well, I'm glad that you liked that, man. Not everyone did, but I'm glad that you did. Truth Apocalypse says, I'm here because you seem like a genuine good guy. Logic and reason during Captain Marvel stuff equals sub. Well, thank you, Truth Apocalypse. I appreciate that. And that's what I've always tried to do. I know that many people were like, oh my gosh, you're doing so many videos in Captain Marvel, but as you can see, the video that I did today is getting no traction at all because it has nothing to do in the title or anything with the big news items of the day, which is still Captain Marvel, Rotten Tomatoes, etc. And I understand that it's frustrating because people are like, yeah, but we don't want you to be just a channel just trying to get clicks and just trying to get views and just trying to get subs and stuff. And I don't want to be that kind of a channel, but at the same time, I also want to continue to grow the channel. I want to be able to continue to reach more people. I want more people to be brought in. And so I'm kind of like stuck in this in-between of, you know, I'm trying to do everything that I possibly can. But speaking of that stuff, that was one thing that I would not, you know, I could have easily made a video taking any of the headlines that were coming out and said, oh my gosh, did you see this? And I was like, no, I don't really want to do that because I already know, you know, when there are certain things that I know a little bit more about, because as I said, I have experience working in a movie theater. I've obviously been following box office numbers for a while at this point. There are going to be certain things that I'm going to look to and I'm going to say, all right, this doesn't seem quite right. And this is not an attack on any other channel that has been harping on Rotten Tomatoes, has been harping on the box office, etc. I think that all of them are coming from a genuine place. But at the end of the day, if I don't feel confident in something, if I don't think that what I'm saying is true or at least based in truth, I'm probably not going to end up saying it or talking about it, at least in that way. So thank you, man. I really do appreciate that. And I know that not everyone likes that because, you know, everyone wants to have those angry, like, and I'm so glad to do those videos because there are times when I get ticked off, man. There are times when I just want to, like, you know, rage on screen. And you've seen those videos. You've seen my coverage. You know that I'm not a fan of Captain Marvel, but I want to go after it on the things that we can actually go after. I don't want to make up fake controversies. I don't want to make up, or rather, you know, not make up necessarily, but I don't want to dive into the conspiracies territory when there's a lot of evidence to suggest other things. So again, I'm not going after anyone with that. I just think that all of us have a different perspective on things, and that's just my own. That was the reason why I never went down that road. All right, True Apocalypse is the last chat before it just jumps on me. So let's see where I am. I'm sure that I probably won't be able to catch up. All right. Let's see. So, Tina says, Brother Malachi, let's see, stressed but doing better. You can ask him. Just type Odin's Movie Blog in full highlight. Thank you very much, man. Brother Malachi says, is Discord still on lockdown? I'd like to join so I can hang out with Tina. Well, Brother Malachi, it is, so basically it is more secure than it once was. So the only person that I would say, Tina, I would say that you can share the Discord link. I would say just to be aware that people might try and spam it. There are restrictions on it, so you're not going to be able to post things right away. You will have to enter in a valid email address as well, and that's just a way to try and keep it a little bit more locked down. But I think that we can at this point share the Discord link, but let's make it a temporary. So Tina, when you see the links, create a temporary one. Do not let it be permanent. I think that will be a, you know, a little bit better. Sticky V says, still waiting for a really good solo Hulk movie after Endgame. Disney should buy Universal Studios. Oh, man. Yeah, see, here's the thing, though. I don't want Disney buying any more things. I think Disney's way too big. I think Disney is gigantic at this point. I'm not trying to say that the government should come in and tell businesses how to run themselves, but at the same time, too, I think there's a point where it's like, how do we take the difference, you know? Like, that's where I'm kind of stuck because, you know, the small government in me, you know, the libertarian side of me wants to say, no, the business should be able to do whatever they want as long as we have, you know, common sense laws and common sense restrictions. But then also at the same time, the movie lover in me says, I don't want this company taking over all these franchises and ruining them. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I don't want that. All right, let's see. Glitch Gnome says, I believe you are correct that Cameron owns the adaptation rights of the Gundam Gundam Battle Angel manga, and Fox Disney owns distribution. I'm pretty sure that's how it worked out, Glitch Gnome, because that's how, for example, remember how Disney owned Star Wars, right? But they didn't own the distribution rights, which is why they couldn't show, you know, if they were to have launched Disney Plus, for example, they would not have been able to put the original trilogy on there because they didn't own the distribution rights. Fox did. So I think that's pretty much how that worked out in this way, where IP is owned in one capacity, distribution rights are a different animal altogether. So I think that sounds right to me, but I'll definitely look into it. I'll probably try and make a more in-depth video as to what this all means and what it actually means for the future of Alita, since I know a lot of people on this channel follow this channel because of their love of Alita, and I know that a lot of people are like, Alita, tell us more about Alita. Alita, by the end of this weekend, guys, is likely going to cross the $400 million mark. Not likely going to break even. I know that someone shared something with me earlier saying, you know, by breaking it down by regions, but it's still it's a very tough game. It is a very tough game to really be able to predict with pinpoint accuracy. This is the exact break-even number. That's why I'd like to go with just the general numbers, and the general capacity of what it needs to make to break even is 430 million, which, as I said before, it might not make now, but I really do believe that it's going to make up by the end of its run. As far as DVD and Blu-ray sales, so not in the box office, but DVD and Blu-ray sales, I think it's going to make up whatever it doesn't make. So let's say it ends at 401, 405 million. I think it can easily make 25 million in merchandise, Blu-ray, DVD sales. I know that I'm going to be buying the Blu-ray for it. No questions about it. Septerm Gaming says, you can tell Disney are losing ideas since they are making remakes of original work. I know, seriously. And also, the remakes that they're making of the original work are also not their own ideas. Like, think about Aladdin. Think about Beauty and the Beast. Think about Hunchback of Notre Dame. Like, these are all ideas and stories that they did not come up with, but that they adapted. So it's hilarious that you can really see that, you know, that they've run out of these ideas, and the fact that they're now buying up all these other things is just insane. Like, seriously, they're buying up all the properties they can because they know they're out of ideas, and so now they just want to reboot, remake. As Greta, who's a subscriber to the channel and has a really great channel, really going into depth into more movie history, she's mentioned this before, that we're talking about what age of movies are we in. You know, we had the golden age of movies, the westerns, etc. We are in the age of the remake and the reboot, and Disney is going to be all gung-ho about it for as long as possible. Tina says, sorry to hear that. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, Steph. Thank you. Really appreciate that. Lead Troll, sorry to hear. Thank you. All right, so now, see now that I'm getting here, I'm not going to give any, I'm not going to give any details, guys. I'm not going to give any details as to the names and stuff. And Valkyrie, if you see anyone post any, like, direct information about where I work or location and stuff like that, could you please delete those messages? And I would say put those users in timeout, and if they keep trying to do that, ban them, because as I said before, I do not want to drag anyone's name through the mud. That was not my intention by sharing the information. I simply, you know, I care about you guys. I also care about my students, and I wanted to make sure that the information became public, and that's why I told all my students first, and I'm now telling you guys as well. In fact, one of my students, thank you very much, man. I really do. I see that, AR. Again, you know who you are. Thank you very much, man. I really do appreciate that. That really, you know, it might even just be you know, it might just be a you know, a chat, but it really, thanks. Really does mean a lot, man. 100,000. Sorry to hear that. It's all good, man. Oh man, I should have known that this was gonna happen. Rogue Baron, we will support you wherever you go, whether full YouTube or new teaching position. Rogue Baron, thank you very much, man. Really do appreciate that. Definitely not doing full-time YouTube. YouTube could go away tomorrow. It's not a sustainable business, for me at least. You know, if maybe one day I'm having other, you know, other ideas, other things that I can run, and, you know, maybe then I could do that. But just at this time with doing full-time YouTube, it's a great supplemental income for sure. It's something that I could definitely use in the meantime, especially during this period of, you know, by, you know, at the end of May, trying to figure out, okay, where do we go from here? Hopefully by then I'll have a, you know, pretty good idea of where things are gonna, you know, where things are gonna add up. But, you know, we will see. L Gluck, so because that is something that I know what it is, not everyone else knows what it is, I'm going to, as far as a program, yes, absolutely, man. It was really great working with the smaller guys in that program, and I'm definitely gonna miss it because that was so much fun. Sticky V says, thanks for telling us, man. Sad to hear what the deal is. You had us worried, and this just sucks. You should teach. Keep at it. Thank you, Sticky V. I really do appreciate that, and that is indeed my intention. I will try. Again, my intention is to continue at another location, and I will hopefully be able to get that squared away as soon as possible. And of course, I will try and keep you guys posted for as long as I can. Peabody says, Odin is moving to Perth. We need Odin's teaching. Yes, I'm going to move to Australia. I'm going to bring the Catholic faith to Australia. Glitch Gnome says, things in life always happen for a reason. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Stick V says, being forced to break bonds always sucks. The big one, yeah, for sure. Especially when it's not your choice. I would say that's probably the hardest, because I knew that there was always a chance that at some point there might be something that would come up, something in life that might force me to do certain things, you know, make certain choices. And at least at that point it would be, you know, under my control. And it sucks that it's something that I don't have much control over, you know? But yeah, absolutely. JKD Buck says, I'm sorry to hear this. Been through it myself. It turned out for the better in my case. Let us know if you need anything. Thank you, JKD. Again, as far as, you know, me and Freya, we are doing fine. You know, we are definitely not in a bad situation as far as, you know, being able to support ourselves. So don't worry about that. And we still have some time to be able to get, you know, get things going. So thank you. I really do appreciate that still, man. Thank you. Oh, Steph. Oh, look at all the flex emojis. Oh, look at that. Thanks, guys. I will try and stay strong for you guys. See, Rogue Barons. Oh my goodness, what is this name? XX Odin King of Fire and Demon Slayer XX at Gmail. Yeah, that wouldn't go too well. So no, so the email that was attached to the chat was like my legit email, but you can choose a nickname for it, or you can choose like the name that shows up. And I was realizing I don't want people to try and hunt me down and stuff like that. So I was like, I'm just going to change it for, for the public look. So it was actually ended up being easier because then everything showed up as Odin. I'm like, oh, this is great. But now, you know, obviously I don't want that showing up because it's going to be like, wait, what is this? And then, you know, sure, it's a conversation starter, but it's also one of those like, well, you see, you know, back in the day, hey, Big Snake Boy, let's see, he says, sorry to hear about your job. Good luck with your job hunting. I'm sure you'll find something better place in the long run. Everything happens for a reason. Thank you very much, 8-Bit. Really do appreciate that, man. Really does mean a lot, and definitely will do the best that I can. CF Productions, what's going on, bruv? Wished upon a vlog, you should make a YouTube channel just for your dogs. Believe me, I've thought about it. My plan was to do like a show where it was just the dogs speaking and reviewing movies, but I realized that my dogs are almost impossible to film like in a set manner. So I realized that it would be a fool's errand, but I definitely want to start doing some more videos of them for the personal channel, the Welcome to Asgard channel, because I need to start pumping out some more content for that one. Definitely so. CF Productions, unfortunately, I can't stay for long. Just wanted to check in for a little bit. CF, if you can drop a like, I would really, really appreciate that, man. Thank you. Dr. Dev says, what's better, Dolby Atmos or IMAX? I would prefer Dolby Atmos personally. Dolby Atmos has a better, basically a better image, and I would say a better sound experience. IMAX might be louder in certain circumstances, which is always a good thing, I think, for movies, especially action films. But if I had to choose, I would probably do Dolby Atmos because Dolby Atmos also, more likely than not, has the reclining seats, which are very comfy. Now, I would recommend not going to these theaters when you are tired, because you will probably fall asleep, as I have been prone to do, especially in films that have slow middle parts. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Gannison Elite Troll says, I'm in a similar situation too, but don't let that get you down. Well, Gannison, really do appreciate that, man. Thank you. Wishbon Vlog says, I'm here and you are so sweet. All that matters is you believe in me, and I'd be more than happy to do a stream now and then with you on mine or your channel. You're so kind. Well, Wished Upon a Vlog, thank you so much. Guys, go support Julie's channel. She really is an awesome person. And seriously, Wished Upon a Vlog, go ahead and get started on streaming now that you know that you can do it. If you need some help with that, please let me know. I will do the very best that I can to help you. And I would love to be featured on your channel. I would love to try and bring some more traffic to your channel, even though I don't really see myself as a large channel. You know, even though we are celebrating 16K today, I obviously don't see myself as a gigantic channel by any means. But I am definitely, you know, I think one of the larger of the smaller channels, and so anything that I can do to help, you know, that's why I love showing up on on other random streams, because it's so much fun. Outpost Dyer has arrived. What's up? What's going on, bruv? All right. Tina says, it was a very good video, and I left a novel of a comment. You touched a chord with me as a movie buff. Well, Tina, I'm glad that I did so, and I'm glad that I was able. Again, I think that it's getting good, positive reaction. It had probably one of the best like to dislike ratios I've had in a very long time. So the people watching it like it, but you know, as you know, with YouTube's algorithm, and this is why, like, people are saying, like, oh, why are Geeks and Gamers covering this nonstop over and over, beating this dead horse? It's because YouTube forces them to. It's because if they want to continue to make their channels grow, which, you know, as a, you know, with Geeks and Gamers, it's a brand, it's a business, and that's, like, the idea is to make that grow. And so Jeremy's kind of forced to play that ball game, you know, to play that game, because basically YouTube forces him to. Because let's say he were to make a video about something else that is not trending, well, guess what? It gets sunk. You know, it gets put to the bottom of the list, and then no one sees it. You see, it would be different if basically, you know, with 16,000 subscribers, right? You would think, okay, well, each video should probably get, what, you know, 10,000 views. Let's say at least 10,000 of my 16 actually follow my channel. You know, every video should be able to get 10,000, but it doesn't happen. Geeks and Gamers has over 100,000, like what, 120,000? And yet he does not get a guaranteed amount of views. And that's a problem on YouTube's end, because they, you know, play around with notifications. Notifications don't always go out. They have a broken system. And so basically he's forced to try and get this traffic going to get a bunch of people who aren't even subscribed to the channel to view his videos. And it's this whole thing. And it's all because YouTube's algorithm system just is awful. Serptor Gaming says, since Dumbo, The Lion King, and Jungle Book remakes, Disney is now losing ideas. Yep. And I think they're going to start losing at the box office at the end, because people do not like, again, people do not like when a company is out of ideas. And I don't think these reboots, you know, they may have done well with Jungle Book, and, you know, Beauty and the Beast made over $1 billion, but I honestly think that if they keep on doing this, I think in the end it's going to hurt their bottom line. It's not going to be a good idea for them. Aiden Vickery says, respect. Thank you, man. Really do appreciate that. All right, Aiden Vickery was the last comment before the chat jumped on me. And awesome. So did not skip comments. Wishmon Vlog says, hi, counsel aside, you are so kind to me, and I'm more than happy for you to stream on my channel anytime. You beyond kind, and appreciate it so much. Thank you so much, sincerely. Seriously, Julie, now you are awesome. Thank you for actually coming onto my channel, because I think that it was an awesome stream. If you have not seen it yet, it's on the Welcome to Asgard channel. Also, if you like podcasts, guys, I do have a website dedicated to podcasts. It actually used to be where I hosted my my original podcast. You know, for those that don't know, before I started YouTube, I actually did podcasts. And so you can actually find all of my original podcasts there, and all the new podcasts. Basically, every live stream now goes up in 2 places. I make it unlisted on this channel because of YouTube, because of YouTube's algorithm. So I also post it up in full on the Welcome to Asgard channel, and I also convert it into a podcast, and it is live on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, all the major podcasting apps. And so if you would like to listen to the live streams, and if you maybe can't be next to a computer, but you like to drive, or you drive a lot, hey, you can subscribe to the, the channel. You can subscribe to the podcast, and you can listen to all the streams that way. You can also, set the settings to maybe 1.5 speed. Oh my God, how could I listen to Odin at 1.5 speed? I listen to myself on 2 times speed. That's how this mind works. It's insane. I don't know how I do it. It's insane. Let's see. Dan Maloney says, it would suck if Disney becomes an actual Weyland-Yutani and end up becoming a ruling body, but damn, they own a lot of properties. Yeah, someone was saying beforehand that, and I think it was on Twitter, they said that now Disney owns officially like 40% of all like movie markets or something like that. Like, I don't know exactly what he's trying to get at, but it seems about right. Like, as far as like mainstream properties and the box office money that they get, like 40%, that's insane. That's insane that they have that much of the overall market. Like, think about all of the movies now that they're going to release in any given year. They can now release Avatar every single year, which was already planned. And again, if James Cameron owns the IP, but they own distribution, which means they're going to get a cut of that. So they can have it, they're going to be a part of the Avatar releases, getting out, every single year. X-Men, the MCU films, like, think about all the Disney content that we're now going to be getting every single year. They are going to take up a massive portion of the box office, especially since the MCU has now essentially been weaponized with normies to be able to do mediocre to poor films that can still somehow make a crap ton of money. It is truly crazy. Rogue Baron says, there is a slow mode for Discord, so users have to wait a certain amount of time between messages. There is a way to make it auto increase if people start spamming worth a look. Definitely will look into that. I think what I have done has fixed the issue for the most part, but if for any reason people start to try and do those things, definitely will look into that in the future. Slicer Neon says, shout out to the Valkyries for all they've done to get us this far. My favorite part of the streams is hanging with such fine examples of womanhood. Thank God for women. Slicer Neons, I second that notion, especially, guys. Tina and Steph are the best mods in the business. They are my Valkyrie. They are my warriors. They are true warrior heroes, unlike that terrible, sorry excuse for a warrior hero in Captain Marvel. So seriously, huge shout out to Tina and Steph. They are amazing. They volunteer their time, and sometimes they it's always great to have contact with them behind the scenes, because oh man, they're seriously, you think they're awesome here, they're even cooler when you really, I have the privilege of being able to know them outside of the streams, and they're awesome. So seriously, give it up for them. They're awesome. They volunteer their time, and seriously, I would not be where I am without them, because they seriously do so much work. It's insane the amount of work that they do, and it truly means a lot that they do that. Also, let's go ahead and catch up with some super chats too while we're at it. Larry, thank you for the $2 super chat, says, I'll wait till Endgame is a $2 rental. Man, yeah, I know a lot of people feel that way. I know a lot of people are kind of not wanting to support Endgame, and I support you in that. I think that if you want to boycott Endgame, if you want to boycott Disney altogether, hey, I respect you. I understand where you're coming from with that. I personally will be seeing Endgame because, obviously I'm a movie guy, so I'm going to go see it. It might be a ticket that I end up paying for, and if that's something that makes you hate me or unsubscribe, again, I respect you for your views on that, but I think that at the end of the day, I'm going to support the Russo brothers, because that's my money is going to support the Russo brothers, to show them that I will support movies that they make. But don't forget, I did not give money to Captain Marvel. Allegedly. I love saying that. Allegedly. Let's see. Repalancia, always great donations from you. Thank you very much for the super chat. It says, nowadays, you can be a fan of someone that's not an actor or an artist. You can be a fan of someone that makes YouTube videos. Cameron Dallas, congrats on 16K. Looking forward to more of your videos. Reed, thank you so very much for all of your support. Seriously, you're always coming in with those super chats and always with the kind, uplifting words. So seriously, thank you so much. And it is amazing to live in this world now where no longer do the news media, the mainstream news media, control the narrative. Nowadays, you can find people who speak on your level, speak, you know, with your language, speak truth to power, essentially. Don't try and shill for various people. Don't try and spin things a certain direction. And I try and basically wear my heart on my sleeve, and so you know exactly where I stand. So the people that try and say, oh, well, you're just, you know, on the opposite side. Well, at least you know that. I'm not trying to hide that. I try to stay as objective as I can, and when I do my reviews especially, I mean, hell, people are going to go after me because I gave Captain Marvel a C-. People would say, that's too high. But that's an honest review saying, no, it's a below average film. It is a below average film with a lot of problems. And that's why I've really tried to push the website. You know, I have the website going, and I have this thing called Objom. It's a working title. It's not very good. I like saying it though, Objom. And what it stands for is objective. So basically there are 10 categories for the current reviews for the current movies that I have listed, and you rank out of 10 each of those categories. So let's say there's a movie that might be bad, but it has great acting. Well, then you can give that like an 8, 9 out of 10 in that category. But let's say the writing's terrible. Then you can give it a 2 or a 3. And then the Objom score is basically all of those numbers added together, and then you get out of 100. And that, to me, I think is a fairer score in the end. I think that it's going to be a more accurate score because instead of you just grading a movie and saying, oh, I hate this movie, F, again, that's a subjective view. And I think that everyone has a right to a subjective view, but I think that there needs to be a better way of being able to speak objectively about films. And the only way that I really know how is to break it down by categories, to break it down by what actually makes up a film, what, you know, the actual objective qualities of a film. Because Matthew Kadish, who's been such a great person and a great supporter of this channel especially, you know, he's done a great job in being able to break things down to an objective standard. He did an awesome job breaking down The Last Jedi. The point is that we know that there are movies that are objectively good, though subjectively we might hate them, or vice versa. Great example. There's a movie called The Room with Tommy Wiseau. Oh, hi, Mark. No one in their right mind is going to say, well, objectively, it's well written, it's well directed, it's well acted. Of course not. Objectively, it's terrible. But subjectively, I still love it. You know, if you ask for my subjective grade, I'd give it an A+ because I have so much fun with it. If you ask for my objective score, it'd be probably a D, probably a D-, because it is just not very well made. So that's why I think that it's important for us to have these two standards, to have the subjective opinion still there, still valid, because then people can know, okay, so he had fun with it, he liked it. That's something that I want to know. But also to give an objective side of it too, because I think that's just as important, at least for me. I like to see objective points of view more so than subjective, personally, when it comes to movies. Let's see, Bishop Peabody, thank you very much for the super chat, says, just showing the love you show us, tried Streamlabs, don't know if it worked. Doesn't look like it did because I didn't get a pop-up for it, but thanks for trying anyway, man, and thank you for the support. Seriously, you are awesome, and I love you. Let's see, so someone, it looks like, trolled with a inappropriate subscriber name, so I'm not going to read it. So congratulations. It showed up on the screen for a few seconds. How proud you must be. Doc Ido, though, what's going on? Or Ito, Doc Ito. Doc Ido? No, Doc Ito. Doc Ito, Doc Ito. But yes, the Valkyries are indeed awesome. So yeah, production says, gotta go. Hope that you had a good time. Tina says, gotcha. 70B says, yes, sir. You are awesome. Alita Troll says, one day I would like to meet you. Gannison, I'm right there with you, man. I am right there with you. If you're going to be in Chicago, Star Wars Celebration, if you want to meet me in person, I will be in Chicago. I'm flying in Friday morning, and I will be there until Sunday morning. So, yeah. Hopefully I'll reach out to you guys and be able to see you. Perth Comics says, we need you in Perth, Odin. All right, sounds like me. It sounds like Australia is calling my name. Wishmon Vlog says, I heard what you said. You're beyond kind to me. High Council aside, you're welcome to stream on my channel. Odin is such a down-to-earth guy. Oh, Wishpon Vlog, thank you. No, you're awesome. No, you're amazing. Elite Troll, come to Malaysia for vacation. I'm sure Freya would be down for a Malaysia trip, to be honest. So we'll see what happens, man. We will see what happens. Nerdrotic is here. Gary, what's up, man? He says, faith in the higher power. He or she is in the driver's seat anyway. That is very, very true, Nerdrotic. Thank you so much, man. Really do appreciate that. And guys, go, seriously. I love Nerdrotic. And Nerdrotic, Gary is the one that inspired me to start turning the live streams into podcasts. It's brilliant when you think about it, because not everyone can watch, you know, at a computer screen. Some people want to maybe do work. Well, guess what? You can just, you know, get your favorite podcast app, play the podcast, play the live stream that you missed, and if it's a topic that you think you're going to be interested in, or if you like the content, hey, you have a new way of listening to it. I listen to Nerdrotic stuff, like, seriously. I'm already, you know, it's so funny that he's coming up right now, because I'm going to show you right now. I have a Nerdrotic podcast literally set up on my phone as we speak. It's great. It's the Captain Marvel, a bad profitable film. And I love Gary. Gary's awesome. And I would love to, me and Gary need to hook up one day and do a live stream together. It'd be a lot of fun. Mary says, I've had to make choices like that for my health recently. Okay, well, hope that you are fine. Hope that you are fine. Again, we are here for you. Peabody says, you should team up with Adam. The wieners love the camera. That is a true statement. Laura says, I'm going to send you some chocolate. Hang in there. Laura, Laura, guys, Laura knows my heart better than I think most others. I think other than the Valkyrie, she is closest to my heart when it comes to things she knows I'll like. I mean, again, she knew that I had an interest in Rebels and I liked the pilot, so she sent me the entire series. She knew that I freaking loved the character of Voltan in Flash Gordon, so she sent me Voltan. Dive! Gordon's alive! Like, she's awesome. She sent me beard mints because I have a beard, and she knows that I celebrate Christmas. She's so cool. And, like, seriously, there's going to be chocolate on my doorstep in the next, like, 2 or 3 days. I'm going to be like, oh, my God. She's awesome. And also, seriously, Laura, I hope that you do show up in Chicago, because I would love to meet you in person. Seriously. You have been so supportive of the channel, and, again, close to my heart. Close to my heart. Guys, secret chocolate is the secret to my heart. Let's see. Justin Tom Ford says, since Endgame is 3 hours long, what are your thoughts on a halftime intermission? I personally want one. I don't. And the reason why is because 3 hours to me is fine. I've sat through 3-hour films before. We've had modern films that have been almost 3 hours long that have not needed an intermission. Now, do I think that maybe some theaters might have it, or do I think that Disney might put one in? Could be. Could also be Disney decides to cut it down, because that means less showtimes, and less showtimes means less money. So it's going to be interesting to see if the studio will actually allow them to have the 3-hour cut. And also, if the 3-hour cut is their smallest version, man, if there's a director's cut, oh boy, I would like nothing better than a Russo brothers, done right, of course, because obviously we haven't seen Endgame yet, a Russo brothers directed and produced film that's like 4.5 hours. Could you imagine a 4.5 hours end to the Infinity Saga as now what it's called? It'd be amazing. Could be amazing. Let's see. Got that one. Scorpio says, congrats on reaching 16K, all without bots, unlike a certain salty storm by the name of Roberts. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm not even gonna talk about that guy, because that guy's just not worth the time. Seriously, not worth the time at all. It's a guy that like made fun of me for the way that I do videos on Geeks and Gamers. And it's like, so let me get this straight. You're calling us toxic, and your response to that is by attacking people personally. Okay, got it. Sounds good, man. Glad to see the consistency there. Good luck to you. All right, Scorpio was the last comment before the chat jumped on me. Hang on me. I'll be gone without you. Nerdrotic, what you doing here, man? I know you got more important things to do. I appreciate it, though. A Glitch Gnome says, the only one of the live-action remakes my friend is interested in is Aladdin, because it is his favorite Disney movie. Seriously, I like Aladdin a lot, like the original animated version, but I don't need a mostly CGI landscaped movie that... Seriously, I will say this much. The only thing I'm looking forward to is Jasmine singing, because the one thing I loved, not liked, the one thing I loved about the Aladdin trailer was getting to hear Jasmine sing. And I didn't know that the actress playing Jasmine actually is a singing artist. Like, so she has training. So I think that's her actual voice. So I'm actually very excited to hear that. Guy didn't really sound all that special, so I'm not really excited much to hear him. But Jasmine sounds amazing. So I will probably, I don't know how I'm going to handle that box office wise. I'm probably going to do the Odin special when it comes to seeing movies that I don't necessarily want to support monetarily. But I do want to see it because I want to hear her sing. And I think that she has a great voice, at least again, based on the trailer. Who knows? Soul Assassin says, do you think Disney will get too big and be forced to downsize by the government? I mean, there's always a potential. So they actually technically were forced to downsize in this deal, Soul Assassin. For those that don't know, with the Disney deal, they acquired many of the Fox affiliate stations. But because they already own a network, obviously that is going against, the antitrust, etc. And so part of the deal is that they cannot hold on to those stations. They have to sell them. And so Disney actually thought that they were going to be able to sell those stations and make up some of the debt. I think they're taking on like $34 million or so in debt from this deal. And they were thinking that they could make up some of that by selling the stations, but apparently they're not selling like hotcakes like they thought they would. So I know that was at least part of the deal. Septerm Mact, you changed your name on me, Septerm. Or Serbterm. Sorry, Serbterm. Good for Disney to buy Fox. Let little kids go watch Family Guy. I do indeed know the way. Alita Troll says, will Disney learn their lesson for buying everything? Who knows? Seriously. I think that it's going to be... I'm fascinated. I am seriously fascinated to see how Disney goes with all of this. Really am. Because Disney can go in a wide variety of ways. Disney could do everything right and make billions, or they can screw everything up and lose on the $71 billion investment that they just made. Tina, you're awesome. Justin Tom Ford, Pink Goosh says, the scene with the Amazons protecting the mother box was my totally favorite scene in Justice League. Man, but Justice League was so, Justice League was a rough one for me. I didn't like it. I personally didn't like it. BVS did not like. Loved Wonder Woman. Overall enjoyed Aquaman. I think that Wonder Woman, is the strongest of the DCEU films. Aquaman definitely coming in at a strong second there. I would like to see them. I would like to see an Aquaman too, but I would like to see it with better writing. I would like to see it with better writing. Odin speaks our language, says Teska. Aiden Vickery says, as a complete aside and more iconic than superhero, I watched The Mule the other day and enjoyed it. Okay, somehow I was able to figure that out, Aiden. So yes, I actually really enjoyed The Mule too. I don't like it as far as it being potentially the last Clint Eastwood film, but overall it's enjoyable. Is Odin high? What? Of course not. I'm straight edge, dude. I don't do that stuff. Tina says, the only reason why The Room isn't the greatest movie of all time is because he left out the flying car and the vampire part. Oh my God. If those things had made it into it, that would have been amazing. Aiden Vickery says, as a complete aside and more... Okay, I already got that comment, it looks like. Wait, as a complete aside and more iconic superhero, watched The Mule the other day, enjoy it. Nice to see Clint playing a character at his own age. That is indeed true. That is indeed true. Sticky V says, the most attractive thing nowadays is clear thinking and honest opinions without political bias. People can sense honest people, and that's why we all got to know you, I think. Well, Sticky V, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And again, I always try and make it very clear where I stand on certain issues. I always try and make it very clear, my own personal thoughts, and I will try the very best that I can. So, Gary Peters, welcome to the channel, man. CWD Trixie says, all we need is to get Spaceballs Megamade and use its ability to suck all the smug out of Hollywood. Oh my God. Megamade, she's gone from suck to blow. God, Spaceballs, such a great movie. So great. Peabody says, let me know when you arrive so Perth Comics and I can pick you up. Dude, honestly, to be honest, at some point in my life, for sure, want to travel to Australia for no other reason than to meet you guys. I need to support my Aussie. Seriously, I have got my Aussie following, and I want to support them because they are awesome, awesome, awesome people. Seriously, love them so much. Let's see. Gannison says, I'm too far away to go Star Wars Celebration, but maybe one day. Awesome. Hopefully that day will be when Star Wars is in a better place. Mary says, we are not in control, and when we try to take control, our higher power puts me back in my place. Mary, I actually think that's a good way of thinking about it, but also at the same time, I don't think that God, because obviously you all know I'm a Catholic, I'm very devout, I'm very proud of my faith, I teach my faith, that is, my job is to teach the faith, and so I take great pride in it, and so I think that, I respect that way of thinking about it because I think there's a lot of truth in it. You know, for me, it's that I think that God only allows things in our life that we can handle, and that anything through God's grace is something that we can overcome. Any trouble, you know, any situation, any trouble, it all requires us to grab onto that grace. I tell this to my guys all the time. Grace is like a hand, and it's always there. But if you don't grab onto it, if you don't make that action, if you don't actually reach for the hand, well, then it can't do anything for you. It's a free gift given. But guess what? If you don't receive, if you don't accept the gift, you can't do anything with it. Instead, it's just a nice, pretty looking gift being, you know, given to you freely. Again, you don't have to do anything except to take it, to accept it. And so, you know, it's just like, why not? Why not just try? Why not just take it and see what happens? Dan Maloney says, sounds like she is your archangel. She is. Yes, indeed. Laura, that is. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Chocolate is the way to the heart. Don't go breaking my heart. Let's see. Laura's awesome. Tech Guy says, I want to eat, but I can't pull myself away from this podcast. Tech Guy. Well, thank you, man. You can eat and listen to the podcast, man. Just put it on blast, man. Put it on the speakers. Or as I said, just see where you are in it right now. Pause it. Come back to it later. And hey, you'll have other places to be able to watch it, listen to it later on, man. Mr. Peabody says, Laura is great and fantastic to talk to. Wow, would it be great to get us all in a room like your AHA reference. I'm glad that you like that. Oh my God, seriously. Like, again, I think it would be awesome to be able to get some type of meetup at some point would be awesome. But of course, it's got to be like a place where people can realistically get to, especially since I have such a, like, it's so funny to me because I remember, you know, this was, you know, thousands of subs ago. No, I'm kidding. You know, this was a long time ago. And I remember just sitting there thinking like, wow, I have 30 people watching me. And, you know, 5 of them, no, 10, I think at the time. A third of them were not United States. Were like UK, mostly Australia. And then there were a couple other European countries too. And it was just amazing to me. I was like, this is just amazing that we're all here right now at the same time, interacting with each other, but we are living thousands and thousands of miles away from each other. It's truly amazing. The fact that right now for Peabody, it's like, what, early morning for you is absolutely insane. Hyperin says, happy to see this stream booming, my brother. Well, thank you very much, man. Again, the way I had the chat set up, I can't see who's watching. And actually, I prefer that. I don't like to you know, be obsessed with the number of people watching, because I feel like it changes the way that you talk and it changes the things that you talk about. And so I actually like this change that I have right now, because I have this chat box floating around essentially, because the chat box that's attached to the Streamlabs app is showing up something differently and won't pop up, you know, anytime that people put Odin's Movie Blog, it just won't pop up. So it's actually nice not to be able to see the number. But yeah, Peabody, Laura having that meetup would be so freaking awesome, man. Hyperin says, if you get a chance to read this, you have seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Stranger Things Season 3 trailers. Season 3 Stranger Things trailer I have seen. I love it. I love Stranger Things. I cannot wait to see what they do with it. It looks very solid to this point. It doesn't tell you too much, and that's how a trailer should be. I'm excited to see the actors that they have coming into the series as well, to see these relationships as they blossom, the friendships, all this stuff. And it looks like they're going to be dealing with growing up. It's going to be the summer of them growing up and realizing they can't be kids forever. And it's like, oh my gosh, we can connect to that. Because we were kids once, man. We were kids once, man. And I can't wait to see it. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I watched like the first 20 seconds and then wasn't able to finish it because it came out, it dropped during school, and I was not able to watch it all in time. So that's one on my to watch list as soon as we finish up the stream, for sure. Tina says, Aquaman, better writing, more shirtless Jason Momoa. Your Valkyries agree on that, says Tina. Yes. Tina and Steph were very clear from the beginning that they went to see Aquaman and that they love Aquaman because of Jason Momoa. And let's just be honest here. And I think even Gary Nerdrotic, I think he covered this on his channel, that basically when you look at the numbers breakdown for Captain Marvel, it was what, 61% male audience to 39% female, and then for Wonder Woman it was like 52 female, 48% male. But I think if you also go to, I don't know what the actual metric numbers were for Aquaman. Would not be surprised if Aquaman had more women show up to support that movie than Captain Marvel. Just saying, because let's just be honest here, guys. All right, guys, let's realize that we are comfortable with ourselves. We are comfortable with who we are. Jason Momoa is a nice looking dude. He's a nice looking dude, okay? And the ladies like him. So let's just be honest, man. Let's see. Dark Detective says, do you know what 4DX is? I've heard of it. I've never experienced it myself. Is that when like the seats move? Maybe? I don't know. 4D is I think when the seats move. The only 4D experiences I've ever had have been at, I want to say, Universal Disney, where wherever the Shrek ride is, because that one's in 4D, I know. Wishbone Vlog says, I loved when Aquaman said to Wonder Woman, you're gorgeous. And you're gorgeous. Yes. Ah, yes. Sticky V says, if Deadpool 3 closes the franchise, how should it end? It should end on a cliffhanger. Think about it. Deadpool is a troll. Deadpool lives to, break the fourth wall and everything. I think it'd be hilarious if they try and build up to this like dramatic ending and then just cut it, and then the end is literally just him breaking the fourth wall, saying you're never going to find out how this ends because Disney, when it bought up Fox, wouldn't allow us the budget to be able to finish this franchise the way that we wanted. Like, think about how hilarious that would be. I know I personally would love it. Sticky V says, I got that one. Jedi Starship says, Odin with a monocle, simply fascinating. Yes, indeed. I have a monocle, and I'm a fancy. This is Fancy Odin. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Fancy Odin's movie blog. I only like the fancy things in life. I only like dark chocolate with, it has to be with 60% minimum cacao. Gosh. How obnoxious would that be? With the monocle. G-Monkey says, my #1 film for 2019, John Wick 3. #1 film for 2020, Bill and Ted 3. Guys, if you did not follow me on Twitter, Bill and Ted 3 has been confirmed, kind of. So they both together, Keanu Reeves, and other guy's name is blanking on me. Is it Frost? Something... I'm blanking on it. Anyway, the people in the chat are gonna say who it is. But anyway, they released a video saying that it's gonna happen. It's going to happen. And I know that some people are saying, oh, but remakes. This is the one where it's like, this is the end of a story. Like, they're not going to try and continue the franchise. They're going to try and end it, and it's going to be like a tribute to the fans. I'm okay with those types of films. Now, Toy Story 4? No. Toy Story 3 was the perfect ending to that trilogy. Now they're just trying to make more money. And oh my God, the trailer for Toy Story 4, I hated it. I've never hated a Toy Story trailer before. Toy Story 4, I hated that trailer so much. I have no interest in seeing that movie. Taylor Potter says Clint Eastwood's last movie should be him making a new Dirty Harry with his son Scott Eastwood passing the mantle down to him. That could be interesting. Don't know if he'll do it that way, but it could happen. Dark Detective. What's AMC Theaters? Is it some sort of theater program? AMC Theaters is a theater chain, so it's similar to a Regal or a Cinema Mark. Basically, it's a collection of theaters. So imagine that there's a corporation that owns, 100 theaters in a country. AMC Theaters. So, and I actually personally really like AMC Theaters. Not that I have any bias towards liking them. Not like I ever worked for them or anything. Let's see. Hybrid says, you need to replace Foggy Nelson in Daredevil and you'll be Catholic besties with Matt Murdock. Oh my God. No, because the guy they have playing Foggy is awesome. I'm sad that they made him cut his hair, but man, he is so cool. Like the actor, people don't realize this. He was in the Mighty Ducks. And any actor that was in the Mighty Ducks who is not going to end up being someone making up a fake hoax, hate crime, is awesome in my book. Anyone who knows that reference will know exactly what I'm talking about. Dude, Foggy Nelson was the dude that played, oh my gosh, why am I blanking on his character? The one that could hit the puck really hard from like half court, half ice. Fulton, that's it, Fulton. It took me a second. That is the one that plays Foggy. He's awesome. Scorpio says, so Josiah recently listed his top 5 MCU female characters on his channel. Out of interest, who will make your top 5 list? Thanks in advance. I would need to actually have the characters in front of me to give you an honest one. Black Widow is definitely one that would be up there. Maria Hill, probably as well. I like the actress that plays Maria Hill. Scarlet Witch, I really like too. Elizabeth Olsen is awesome. She is the best of the Olsens, no question in my mind. I remember seeing her in, was it Martha Mary Marlene? It's a movie with literally 4 M names, and it's an indie film about a girl that escapes a cult. It's awesome. Elizabeth Olsen rocks it in that, and that's why when I saw her you know, being revealed as being a part of the MCU as Scarlet Witch, I was like, yes, great, solid actress. And she's done a great job with it, I would say, since. So those are the ones that come off the top of my head. Mary says, yes, I was taught that all I had to do is seek. Damn right, Mary. Truth Apocalypse says, if you keep singing, we will want videos of you doing karaoke. There are videos of me doing karaoke out there. I'm just saying. Yeah, they're just saying. I'm just saying they're out there. Aiden Vickery says, ironically, here in the UK, it is Murdoch and News International used to own Fox that has the market share that concerns people the most. Yeah, I mean, I've obviously, because I know of News Corp, which is Murdoch owned, and I know, of course, of Fox News, Murdoch owned as well, and I know that he owns a lot, but he just let go of a lot of things. Yeah, and he just sold $71 billion of product, so not as big as he once was, but I know he's still huge in the UK. Alita Troll says, it's truly amazing that people far away can come together and share. Seriously, man, like, you're in Malaysia. You're in Malaysia right now, and we are having a conversation. Mr. Peabody is in Australia. Sorry, Western Australia right now. I know he's going to appreciate that specificity that I just gave. And we're having a conversation. All of us are having a conversation right now. All in different time zones. All thousands of miles away from each other. And we're connecting. It's awesome. It's so cool. Seriously. That's why seriously, that's why I do this, because it's just so cool. It's so much fun. I love it. Peabody says, it was funny. I had to convince you to give me your address, but I understood that. I just had to send you stuff. I know, Peabody. I know. I'm just so glad I got the P.O. box now, because now it's just like, go ahead and take the P.O. box. Send away. But let me know when you're sending stuff. That way I can know when to go and, you know, not be, you know, empty inside when someone tells me they're going to send me something and then nothing ever shows up. It happened. It happened, and it was very sad. But you're all amazing. Nerdrotic, 54% female for Aquaman. Boom, Nerdrotic. Again, guys, seriously, that's why you need to go subscribe over to Gary's channel if you've not done so already. Seriously, Nerdrotic is awesome. Thank you for that number. So the same metric that was used that saw 60% male for Captain Marvel, or 61% male for Captain Marvel, 54% opening weekend audience for Aquaman was female. Oh, but we can't say that because we can't say that women like men. We can't say that in today's world. That's crazy, man. You'd be crazy. My Valkyrie would disagree. Oh my God, that's awesome, Nerdrotic. That's so cool. Thanks, Gary. I appreciate that, man. Hyper says, same here. Odin, loved the show. My favorite moment from the overall show was when Will's planned fake death with David Bowie, Heroes music cover with all the emotion. Yeah. Gannis says, have you gone to Alita Experience in NYC? There's an Alita Experience in NYC? No. I'm stuck here in Louisiana right now. Hyper says, Deadpool breaking the fourth wall would be the best masterpiece since Thanos' snap. Abso-freaking-lutely, man. Connor Blumberg, Marvel isn't recasting Deadpan, though, I'm pretty sure. I think you meant Deadpool? Yeah, he did. Okay, he corrected. I was like, Deadpan? Is that you trying to go after Ryan Reynolds? I thought he was a great Deadpool. Actually, funny thing that we're talking about it. I'm wearing a Deadpool shirt right now, man. It's him riding a unicorn. That's the way it should be. You know who got me this shirt? Freya, the wife. This is true love, guys. This is true love. Freya was like, oh, hey, it's your birthday. I got you this shirt. I know you like shirts. It's Deadpool on a unicorn. True love, guys. I'm telling you. No, there's no way they're going to recast Deadpool. They'd be stupid. They would be stupid to get rid of Ryan Reynolds at this point. It is going to be interesting to see how they end that story, if they choose to end that story. Winters, thank you, Jagan. Knew someone, Alex Winter, thank you, appreciate it. A Glitch Gnome says, Robert Frost. I know, I wasn't thinking Robert Frost. I knew it had something to do with the cold, though. I was in the right mindset, totally off as far as the name. It's like that moment from Dumb and Dumber. Swanson? Start with an S. Maybe look at the briefcase. Oh, yeah, Samsonite. I was way off. A Glitch Gnome says, you should start a video series where you wear a monocle and do your best impression of film critics while reviewing a film. Oh, Glitch Gnome, I actually like that idea a lot. Someone send me a monocle. Please don't send me a monocle. I mean, like, I would obviously, have fun with it, but don't buy me a monocle. 3 days later, I told you guys, don't do it. The stuck-up critic. Welcome to Odin's Fancy Critic Vlog. How art thou? Okay, let's see. Also, I want to get to the super chat. Riff Magus, thank you very much for the super chat. Another Aussie in the chat says, be excellent to each other. And party on, dudes! Such a great moment. Oh my god, Bill and Ted. Bogus and excellent. So good. Delta Seal 07. Welcome to the channel. Good sir. Tina says, that Toy Story 4 trailer left me with my mouth hanging open. Jeremy even said said he was underwhelmed. No, seriously, I was just like, this is what... Like, and there are some people that go after Toy Story 3. I loved it. I thought Toy Story 3, again, was a perfect ending to that trilogy, a perfect ending to that story. And I was just like, why are you making a fourth one? Oh, that's right, because you're just trying to make money. I mean, if you're going to do that, at least tell a good story that continues the story and makes sense. Now it's just like, no, it's like you're rebooting it all over again. Now it's a new kid, and it's like, no, we don't need that. You gave us the perfect transitional ending. You made grown men cry. This grown man cry in theaters. Trust me, I know many other grown men in the chat would be like, oh yeah, I cried during Toy Story 3. Hybrid says, oh, don't get me wrong, Odin. I love Foggy, just joking. He's like at the Samwise Gamgee to Matt Murdock, but man, that's amazing. I know, seriously, so good. So good. Slapshot. Hybrid says, I find it weird and unfitting that Daredevil is connected in the MCU. Is unfitting that Daredevil is connected to the MCU. Yeah, I mean, at this point, it now is. I guess the real question to me is, what are they going to do with that character? Are they going to try and turn it into a movie? Are they going to move it over to Hulu? As I said in my video earlier today, I think the plan, at least what seems to be the plan, since they own 60% of Hulu at this point, is to take, you know, all their adult content, I guess more of the, you know, the PG-13 R non-rated stuff, like Daredevil, for example, put that over on Hulu, and then put everything else on the Disney Plus service. The problem with that, though, and there is a problem, is that, well, then you're dividing your content, and now people are buying 2 subscription services. Like, are they going to try and consolidate it? Like, are they going to try and put these things together? Is there going to be, like, a dual plan where you pay, you know, a cheaper price to get both or access to both? I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I really want to hear more about what they're going to do. I know that there's many people who've already written off those services, but I'm telling you this right now, you know, especially as someone that over the next few years is hoping to have kids, like, trust me, as someone who's got nieces and nephews, Disney owns the market on kids' content. And ever since they took things off of Netflix, my sister-in-law has been reaching out saying, oh my God, do you have any idea where I can get Disney content? Because they've just taken off everything from Netflix. And I'm like, well, it's funny that you should mention that, because there is going to be a Disney streaming service, but we don't know when it's going to be released. And then immediately it was a crying emoji, because it was just like, how do I entertain my, you know, for me, my niece, you know, for her, my daughter, because now she cannot watch Moana nonstop anymore. Let's see, Riff Magus, thank you very much for the super chat. Bring out the Iron Maiden. Excellent. Execute them. Bogus. So good. Hybrid says, I find it weird. Okay, got that one. Brother Malachi says, Chinese women they complained more than the men about how mean-spirited Captain Marvel was to men. In fact, they've been pushing their government to take the movie down. I've heard of this. I have not read this article, but I did hear that apparently there was some survey or video going around or something where a bunch of the Chinese audiences were saying that they did not like Captain Marvel, that they did not like how it was portrayed. But it also just doesn't match up, because it's made over $150 million in China. It's actually made more than Alita Battle Angel, I mean, at this point. So it's just kind of weird overall. Lethal Lightning is another friend to the chat. He says 55% of total Wonder Woman audience was female. I mean, I think that's a good point. I think that, you know, opening weekend for sure, I know that it was around the 52%. That's interesting, though, that the overall audience was 55%. That is interesting. Makes sense, though, because Wonder Woman was a great character. It's not because she was a woman. It was because she was a great character. And guess what? Men and women are both drawn to, survey says, great characters. We don't really care about the politics. We don't really care about the gender or anything like that. What we care about is it a good story with a good character that I want to spend my money on? If you check off all those boxes, boom, I'm going to be there. Wonder Woman 1984 looks great. It's got the cast, it's got the director, everything looks great. So I'm most likely at this point going to go see it. Everything that I'm seeing about it, everything that I'm hearing about it makes me want to go see it and support it. I mean, that's all it is. But no, you're just a sexist troll because you went after Captain Marvel, man. No, I went after a woke SJW who is saying that movies aren't made for me. Like, I'm sorry. If someone's going to go out of their way to say that, no, these movies you can't have a valid opinion on because of your skin color or because of your gender. It's like, no, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. All movies, general release movies at the very least, by their very nature, are made for all people, or at least should be made for all people. And if I have an opinion on a movie, it doesn't make it less valid, or my opinion is not less valid just because of my race or gender. If I were to flip that around about anything else, you would rightly say that's offensive. You would rightly say that's, borderline racist, sexist, and I would say, yeah, that is. So don't you see why it also works the other way? Brother Malachi says, I'm not for censorship, even movies I don't like, but I still find it hilarious. Oh, yeah, same here. Same here. Gannison says, Alita Troll, I liked Black Panther, but where's the love for Spawn and Blade because they are African-American superheroes? Oh, no, for sure. For sure, Alita Troll. It is interesting how they're all about Black Panther. It's like, oh my gosh, the first time ever. And as far as like screen representation, I would say that, yeah, I mean, it's the first time that a major film with that kind of a budget has had a majority African-American or black cast in that way. And I think that is definitely a reason why you saw the African-American community, at least in the United States, come out, in droves to support it because, hey, it's a big moment. It is. I'm not going to deny that. But it is also false to try and say that it's the first time that you've ever had, a strong black superhero before. Because as you've mentioned, Blade is the one that really, broke those boundaries, if you want to say that there were boundaries in the first place, All right, Gannison was the last one I read before the chat jumped on me. So let's see where Gannison is. All right, got it. Hybrid says, I started watching Punisher 2. Love the way he's done. Most relatable character that I can understand. He was also badass like the T-800 in Season 2 Daredevil. Yeah, dude, Daredevil... I love every season of Daredevil. Every season of Daredevil was fantastic. Punisher, though, I will say this much. Punisher Season 1 is fantastic. Season 2 leaves a lot to be desired. A lot to be desired. And I think it was a lot of studio interference. Excuse me. Excuse me. Dan Maloney says, do you know the Marvelous Wave channel? He updates and does videos almost every day on all things Marvel related. Also, they confirmed Ryan Reynolds is staying as Deadpool. Well, that's great to know that, Dan Maloney. And no, I have not heard of this channel, so thank you for shouting it out. So Dan Maloney, someone who's been very active lately, so thank you again for being a part of this channel, Dan. I think you also revealed that you were also an Irishman. So of course I have a lot of mad respect for you because I know that you had mentioned that when we had my Irish sister, Julie, on. So Marvelous Wave channel. So I will have to try and check that out. Aiden Vickery says, is there a fourth film that did work? I wished Bourne films stopped at 3. Oh, I know a lot of people feel that way. I'm trying to think off the top of my head of a fourth film that actually worked. Can't think of one off the top of my head. I'm sure there's one. Land Before Time 4. My final answer. No, I stopped at 3. 3 is like, in my mind, Land Before Time 3 is the last of the Land Before Times, and then they made 20,000. And I was like, okay, I'm over it. I'm done. Even as a kid, I was like, I feel like Littlefoot isn't really growing up all that much, and you're kind of just making random characters to try and make this relevant. Hypern says, I guess the connection is realistic. It can be sunshine and lighter, like Spider-Man Homecoming. You see the dark criminal world through Daredevil and the rest. Yeah, seriously, I think that having a split would be a good idea in some respects, but it also does leave some questions and some problems in the long run. But yeah, I think that it's a very good thing that you mentioned that. Spider-Man Homecoming, I liked it. Do I recognize that there's problems as far as like characters? Do I think that turning do I think that turning Flash into a kind of like a nerd bully is kind of a weird choice and I don't like it? Yeah. Do I think that having certain characters that have a certain look to them, like hairstyle wise and everything, not be represented that way in movies, a weird choice? Yeah. But I love Tom Holland as Peter Parker. I think he's great. And overall, I liked that movie a lot. I thought there was a lot of strong acting, a lot of strong writing overall, and I overall enjoyed it. I think that's because of the fact that I'm definitely more on the the normie side of things, in that I'm not a comics expert. I'm definitely a normie with a brain, though. That's what I should start calling myself. Hi everyone, welcome to O's Movie Blog. I'm the normie with a brain. Just rolls off the tongue. Mr. Peabody says, it's okay, Odin, they don't own the Peanut song. One day, Peabody, they will. Everyone has a price. Everyone has a price. $1 million man would say. 8-Bit Snake Boy says, Bill and Ted 3 officially confirmed today. Much as I like Keanu, especially post John Wick, how on earth are they going to make that work? Because it's going to be fan service. That's why. It's going to be fan service. It's going to be fun. And I think as long as they're able to treat it as fun and not seriously, which the Bill and Ted movies have never been really serious, I think that it'll be a great ending. I think that it should be a very short film, like an hour and 20 minutes, hour 30 max. But as long as they make it a tribute and get some of those old original actors back, I think we'll be good. Scorpio says, now that the Disney-Fox deal is complete, how long do you think until we see the MCU X-Men reboot or the Fantastic Four reboot? I'm super hype at the prospect of an MCU Fantastic Four. Hey, man, I'm right there with you. I would love to see the Fantastic Four finally done right for once. I think they had a really great cast. The last time around, they just didn't have the right director, writer, studio running things. I think it was just a total massive failure, you know, on every single level. And as far as timeline on that, I would say that we probably won't see those movies until, what, 2021 maybe? Because they already have the film set out for this year. They're not going to, obviously, they're not going to make anything this year. And I would say Dark Phoenix comes out, you know, later this year. I don't think they're going to want to have an X-Men film that close to it. Fantastic Four could go into development as soon as this summer, so I guess you could theoretically have a Fantastic Four film come out 2020. But if you look to what they're already releasing in 2020, it might be too crowded. I don't know. See, here's the thing. Now they've got so much content. Now Disney needs to realize, okay, what do we do with it? How do we spread this out? How do we try and make the most money possible? Because it's all about that money. They got to make that money back. So I would say, if not next year for Fantastic Four, 2021, 2022 for X-Men for sure. And if there isn't a Fantastic Four at that point, I'm going to begin to ask some questions. Alberto Oviedo Fuentes. Ahoy, mates. You can still get your favorite games and movies. Just remember to eat oranges. That's an interesting thought. I don't like oranges because I'm a picky eater and I'm weird. I'm very unhealthy in that way, and I need to work on that, which is why, yes, please keep sending me chocolate, everybody. I got all this chocolate sitting on my table. I had, one of my subscribers sent me just like a load of Michigan chocolate, and I opened it on the stream the other day, and it was awesome. And so there are these potato chips that are covered in milk chocolate, and it's the salty sweet. It's so good. And there's just a couple other things too, and it's just, it's great. I love chocolate. My wife will not be happy if you keep sending me chocolate, though. Brother Malachi says, you need to remember there's over 1 billion people in the country. That's less than $1 per person. If they only saw it once, you're forgetting to count population size. Okay, I'm forgetting the reference there because there are so many topics that we're talking about today. Slicer Neon says, will you be allowed to live stream during celebration? I don't condone violence, but if something goes down, I will definitely watch and rewatch the Slicer Neons. So I'm definitely going to do some vlogging. I know that for sure. For live streaming, I don't see why you couldn't. However, it's going to be so congested as far as like networks are concerned. I doubt that any live stream would actually be able to get out from there. But vlogs, absolutely. My plan is to vlog every day and do the very best that I can to get a vlog put together and uploaded every day. If I can't do that, because I obviously can't bring my computer setup with me, so I'm going to bring my laptop, and it can only do so much. I used to do all my stuff on my laptop, so it is capable of doing, you know, basic stuff. So we'll see. But as far as live streams are concerned, I would say that it's more of an issue of not having access to the bandwidth because of all of the congestion that's going to be going on. Brother Malachi says, and you know the two main moneymakers are opening weekend and repeat viewers. Yeah. Sorry, I'm a little confused. Brother Malachi says, plus Disney stuff, the ticket box in the U.S. Who's to say they didn't do it in the China? No. Brother Malachi, okay, I'm not going to go yet. So I don't buy into the conspiracy that Disney just bought up all these random tickets and, you know, inflated the box office. You don't make that much money by inflating it that much. Like, you can inflate the box office only by so much at the end of the day. Until I'm able to see some actual proof of that and screenshots of empty theaters and screenshots of, you know, the same seat spot over and over again. Again, I think that shows that there might be people buying out tickets. I think that there might be individuals acting a certain way. But to say that an entire company has bought out, you know, thousands and thousands of tickets, because keep in mind, thousands of tickets, that's how many you would need to make up any major impact on the box office. And even then, you would need like tens of thousands of tickets. I mean, think about it. If the average ticket in the United States right now is $10, And if you're trying to say that they inflated the box office, I mean, it's making, at this point, it's getting close to the $800 million mark. So how much did it inflate it by? $200 million? Okay, well then you need to be able to work out that math and realize that that's how many tickets they supposedly bought. And I'm sorry, I just don't buy that. I don't. Again, you're entitled to your opinion, but I just need some more facts, man. I need some more facts before I can actually get on that train. Get on the train, yeah. Hybrid says, Lord of the Rings had a $90 million budget compared to Black Panther's $200 million. See the difference on which had a better practical look and effort. Well, also, remember, you have to account for inflation, okay? So that $90 million is well over $100 million, just for the record. And yeah, I think that you could definitely tell a difference there, for sure. Dan Maloney says, my pleasure. Oh, you're awesome, man. Love my Irish brothers and sisters out there. G Monkey says, best episode 4 is A New Hope. Boom! Yeah, but that was after the fact. Let's just be honest here. Technically, episode 4 was The Phantom Menace, and I don't think anyone would say that it's the best. I'm not saying that I don't like the prequels. I just understand them as entertainment. I love starting debates and arguments over the prequels. Don't get me wrong. I think they're entertaining. I love them for that reason because the dialogue is just hilarious. I laugh at it. At the end of the day, they are better films as far as a cohesive story than the sequel trilogy. Hands down. Better story goes to the prequels over the sequel trilogy any day of the week. No question. Sharp Tooth! I saw someone yes, that message. Sharp Tooth! Yes, Sharp Tooth. Sharp Tooth! No! Scorpio. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, remember when they thought Petrie died? And Ducky's like, oh, Petrie! Petrie, you're alive! Yep. Oh, man. Memory, all alone. Speaking of memory, speaking of cats, guys, when Star Wars opens December, 19th? Cats the Musical, guys. Just saying, if you want to go to the movies, if you want to maybe go into a theater to see Star Wars, but don't necessarily want to give money to Star Wars, Cats the Musical. It's coming out that night. Just saying. Let's see. Scorpio says, I noticed Disney Marvel never highlighted the fact that Falcon was the first African-American hero in mainstream comics. I'd like to see him get the props he deserves for this. Also, the actor that they have playing Falcon is fantastic. So I would be totally down for that too. Alita Troll says, what do you expect for Avatar sequels, and do you think that Disney will make R-rated Predator or Alien movies? If Disney does, it's not going to be... So keep this in mind, that Disney, even though it owns these properties, is not going to... You're not going to have the nice little Walt Disney, animation before an R-rated Predator film. What you will have is probably the 20th Century Fox fanfare, because by owning the distribution rights to these films and also essentially owning the property itself, I believe that also means they own the fanfare. So now instead of it saying a News Corp, a News Corporation production or whatever, it'll probably say a Disney production, or it'll be one of their subsidiaries. So Disney can still release movies that are rated R or PG-13, but they're going to be released under a different company. So massive companies have oftentimes different outlets. So, for example, you look to Lionsgate. Lionsgate is owned by someone else, and Lionsgate, reveals, or rather, Lionsgate releases certain films, but it's under a bigger overlord, essentially. Disney is the giant overlord in this situation, and now it's going to have a bunch of different distribution companies that it can put movies under the titles of. So I think that you could definitely see that, but it probably would not be under. It would probably not be under the Disney logo specifically. Let's see. Taylor Potter says, have you ever seen The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen with Sean Connery? Speaking of guilty pleasure, yes, I have. Yes, I have, and personally, I think it's hilarious. Jamies917, welcome to the channel. Hybrid says, Kingpin taught me how to make eggs peacefully. Captain Marvel taught me how to sleep and get rage. I am loving the fact that you pointed out how he taught you to make eggs peacefully. Oh, man. God, Kingpin. I want that series to come back because of Kingpin. That Vincent D'Onofrio, that is his best performance ever. Like, seriously, I think that man, if I had any faith in the Emmys or any award systems nowadays, that man deserves an Emmy for that performance because he's so damn good in it. Tech Guy says, I just feel it's going to be the woke-tastic 4. I think so too. And I really hope not. I really hope they don't. Hybrid says, I honestly wouldn't mind a Wolverine TV series done right like Daredevil. I would be right there with you. Soul Assassin says, is it true they want the Harry Potter kid to be Wolverine? Not that I've heard of, and that would be stupid. I've already given you my... So I like wacky choices for things. I'm that guy that when when they announced for the Joker, Heath Ledger, when everyone's saying, no, he couldn't do that. He's a teen heartthrob. He couldn't do it. I was like, nah, I've seen his work. He could probably pull it off. It'll be hard, but he could probably pull it off. And then when that first trailer, that first teaser hit, and you heard, I'm a man of my word. Everyone was like, oh my God, that's Heath Ledger. What? And we're just blown away by it. My wacky pick for for Wolverine is Zac Efron. And I don't care how much hate I get for that. And Zephron, guys, is bae, all right? Zephron is the future. I'm telling you this. I'm telling this right now. Zac Efron, that would make the Allfather happy. Laura knows about the Zephron. We're all in this together. But yeah, I definitely agree about the TV series. Per Comic says, we are going to get a point where there is a new Disney movie every week. I know. Seriously, man. Truth Apocalypse says, I bet Disney has it all planned already before now. Feige knew what he was getting and set plans in motion behind the scenes. Well, Feige knows what he's doing. Like, I think that no one would call him an idiot at this point because look at how much money the MCU has made. Now, whether or not he is taking the MCU in a direction that might lead to its downfall, I think that's debatable. I think that's absolutely up for discussion, and I think that one could easily prove that point, that it's going to eventually go in that direction, because anything that goes up eventually will come down. The law of gravity, the law of nature itself. So I think that Feige is a smart man, and I think that you're right. I think that once Endgame comes out, I would say maybe a month or so after, within the month, I would not be surprised if we get some kind of major release of, here is Phase 4. I honestly would not be surprised if we got the entirety of Phase 4. Now, what will make me upset, though, is if the culminating event of Phase 4 is Captain Marvel 2. If that is the case, if they're going to turn, since Captain America is likely not going to come back, if they make Captain Marvel into like the new, you know how like Captain America's movies became kind of like the runner, because you know you had Winter Soldier, which was awesome, you had Civil War, which essentially was like a mini Avengers film. If they make Captain Marvel 2 into a mini Avengers film, Scorpio says, I know they have 2 MCU movies scheduled for next year, like likely Black Widow and the Eternals, but I'm hoping we still get a 3rd MCU film. Only two would be deeply disappointing. Well, at this point, I mean, 2 a year was a standard thing that they've done. So I think that, because keep in mind that technically speaking, Spider-Man is a Sony Marvel collaboration. So it's technically part of the MCU, yes, but it's also being released by Sony. So I think that you'll start to see, you know, maybe we'll start to see 3 a year. It could be interesting. Can have one May, like March, April, May, and then have your summer movie, and then have your, you know, fall, maybe December release. Could be interesting. Darkness says, I hope they don't do Bill and Ted what they did to Dumb and Dumber. Oh, God, please, yes, do not do that. Oh, my gosh, Dumb and Dumber, the sequel, was so bad. I had such high hopes, too. I was like, oh, my God, these guys are going to be great. It's going to be awesome. And then I saw it, and I'm like, no. Stone Cold Jeremy, thank you very much for the super chat, says, saying the prequel trilogy is a better story than the sequel trilogy really isn't that high of a bar. Well, keep in mind, what I mean by that is the overarching story. It's at least a coherent story. You have a point A and a point B, and you get there. When you looked at the sequel trilogy, you have point A, and then you have Rian Johnson come in and go to, you know, point Z up on the moon, doing whatever the hell he wants, subverting all the expectations that he wants, and then who knows where, you know, who knows where J.J. Abrams will fall. You know, when you're all the way at the moon with Z, who knows where that third one will fall. And then it's funny, it's going to be funny if it like falls like neatly. It's like it works totally perfectly with The Force Awakens, and then you just have this middle film that doesn't like make any damn sense. Could be really funny if they do it that way. But Stone Cold Jeremy, thank you very much for that super chat. Appreciate it. Brother Malachi says, you was talking about the profits Captain Marvel made in China. That's what I was referring to. $150 million. I don't think those numbers were made up. Again, once there is actual proof, because again, box office tampering numbers has happened before, and they were able to show it and prove it. But until I have that, I'm not going to believe it. I'm not going to buy into it. Brother Malachi says, how do you explain multiple 50 seats being bought over and over and the theaters are empty? Again, I have to try and make it as clear as possible that I think that there are explanations for a lot of things. I have not seen these 50 seats being bought in the same, like, so if you're talking about 50 seats in one theater being bought over and over again, and there is verifiable proof that those theaters were actually empty, then I think you have something. But if you mean like 50 seats in a day, that is not nearly as much. In one single theater, over and over again, yes, you might have something there, but it's kind of hard to prove that. Gannison says, I will send you oranges because Alita loves it. Oh, the oranges. That's right. She does love oranges. She does love oranges. I do have a yo-yo. I'm all over the place tonight. Hybrid says, a bad movie that's so good, it's definitely worth more time than a boring one. Oh, for sure. Good bad movies are amazing. The greatest bad movie, the greatest worst movie of all time, The Room, is so funny. James Hancock says, we used to try and guess the names of the birds singing. That's awesome. Nice. Slicer Neons. I will be watching Jumanji 2 when episode 9 premieres. That's a good one. That's a good one. I'm so far behind. Scorpio says, yeah, Anthony Mackie is doing a really solid job as Falcon. Hopefully in the future the MCU explores his intellect, as they've kind of nerfed it so far. In the comics, he's as smart as Stark. Yeah, seriously, they have not shown him as being very smart. They haven't shown him as dumb either, but they've just shown him as like a normal, like everyday Joe. And I feel like if they were going to make him super smart, it would kind of feel random because they haven't really done so to this point. They've kind of ruined that. Hybrid says, cool choice, Odin. Cool choice, Hansel. I know this is a weird thought, but my personal pick would be Scott Eastwood for the look. Yeah, I mean, I've heard that before. Would not hate that, I would say. Would not hate that. Mads Mikkelsen's in the chat. Oh, man. Another great actor. Glitch Gnome says, do you think Alita could spawn a TV series like the Stargate movie did as opposed to another movie? It's possible. I mean, especially if Cameron, still owning the rights, does not want to go through Disney. However, I don't know how that would work because I think he still has to go through Disney for Avatar. We'll see. Should be interesting, though. I think that it would work either as a... I think it would work either way. I think if it was a TV series or if it was another movie, I would be happy. As long as we get more Alita Battle Angel, I'm happy. I'm as happy as a clam if we get more Alita. Tina says, I heard the rumor that Harry Potter actor was up for Wolverine. I guess they're floating for a trial balloon to see what people thought. He's too skinny. He could not beef up. He would not be able to get that big. I'm sorry. Like, he would not be able to fill that size. When you are filling the shoes of, Hugh Jackman, you have to be able to get that big. My boy Zephron, he could do it. He could do it. Dan Maloney says, Zac Efron got the concept art treatment for Wolverine. I will try to find it and send you a pic on Twitter DM. Yes, Dan Maloney, please do. 8-Bit says, cats. 8-Bit Stayboy says, cats. Seriously, Star Wars Episode 9, The Funeral, is unlikely to make more money than The Last Jedi, if only by the rule of diminishing returns combined with the backlash. No, I'm right there with you, man. Because if you take into account that Solo made $394 million and that you see a continuing loss of revenue in China, people don't realize this. The Last Jedi made less in China than Rogue One did. So if you look at that scale, Force Awakens made the most in China, then Rogue One, which came out next, then The Last Jedi, which came out next, and then Solo, meaning that China has continuously had less and smaller interest in the movie, in the franchise. And if you don't have a giant turnout in China, it's very hard to cross the $1 billion mark. Now, Last Jedi did cross the $1 billion mark, so it is still possible. But at the same time, I don't think the movie's going to make $1 billion, at least Episode 9. It depends on a lot of things because we still don't have a trailer. We still don't have a name. There's a lot of things that they could do to be able to, give it that kind of a support. Keep in mind that they went into full lockdown to protect Captain Marvel, and it did amazingly well. The reason why I don't have as much confidence that that will work for Star Wars is because the audiences are different. The fandom menace is not the same. Again, the Star Wars fans are not the same as the MCU fans. The MCU fans were going to show up for Captain Marvel no matter what because it had MCU on it, because it's before Endgame, etc. Star Wars fans have already openly rejected Disney Star Wars. That was made very clear when Solo made $600 million less than any other Disney-run Star Wars film. That's a pretty clear message in my mind. Hypern says, my brother, Bullseye was also fantastic. He was also underused for me personally. Kingpin and Bullseye was the best duo since Joker and Two-Face. Bullseye was great, but Kingpin was definitely the best. It was like a nice BLT where the lettuce is just right. Alita Troll, gotta go. Take care of my friend. You have a good one, Gannison. Seriously, thank you for stopping by. Roldy, thank you for the super chat. Says only way Zephron is Wolverine is if there is a singing part. Then Jackman could hand to him his baton like the Greatest Showman. No, but here's the thing: Hugh Jackman is jacked, right? Again, he's in great shape. He's also a singer. Zac Efron, in great shape, also a singer. It's perfect. Oh my gosh. And then this is what you could do. You could hire Rian Johnson. Rian Johnson could then subvert all expectations, and then you could literally have Hugh Jackman on as Wolverine for one more time, singing a song with Zac Efron singing it as a duet, and it's literally the passing of the baton. And then all the expectations will be subverted, and then everyone will be so angry, except for this guy, who will be laughing his ass off because I'll be like, oh my gosh, this is so bad, and it's so funny. Like, seriously, it's become such a farce at this point. Disney has become such a farce that it's like, why not? Why not? Why not go crazy? Peabody says, for all those that don't know, I have got the entire Star Wars despecialized, and I'm in Australia. Boom, Odin. Peabody. Congratulations, man. And you're welcome. But seriously, thank you for your support. Talia Al Ghul, what's going on? Oh, you know, Kevin will make Captain White Savior Complex the next Captain America franchise. Yeah. Yep. I will be very, very sad if that is the case. Very, very, very sad. CWD Trixie, have a good one. Sean C, don't think there's a movie I'm more excited for than King of the Monsters. Every trailer TV spot continues to increase my hype tenfold. I'm also excited. It's on my anticipated movies list. I'm just worried about them having too much of the monsters. I don't want CGI Fest. If you know anything about me, CGI Fests are never a good thing. And the reason why is because it takes a lot of money to have all of that CGI looking good all the time. And I think they showed way too much in the trailers already. So I'm hoping there's still a lot that they haven't shown us yet. And I'm hoping the CGI holds up on the big screen. I'm going to go see it. Probably opening night. If it's playing in Dolby, I'm going to go see it in Dolby. Because I love it. But, yeah, definitely excited for it. Definitely excited for it. Alrighty then. Let's see where we are. Brother Malachi says, you can get from point A to point B in a Model T, but it's going to be a long ride and the suspension is awful. That's awesome. Tech Guy says, something people haven't talked about is beings in the Marvel universe like Galactus, etc. are kind of pulled out of the typical flow of the universe because they are so powerful. Well, Gary had mentioned this during a stream where people were talking about, you know, who's going to be the next big bad, and who do you know, are they going to try and maybe put in a surprise ending or set up for the future of the MCU in Endgame? And he said maybe have Silver Surfer. I watched a video where it talked about kind of the future of the MCU and why the Fox deal closing so close to release would make it very hard for them to really put in a good end scene that wasn't already planned. So that's why I don't think necessarily that they will do a Silver Surfer Galactus, at least at first. But since they've already done away with Secret Invasion, since that cannot happen anymore because they've made the Skrulls into the good guys, because they have to be an allegory for immigrants, you know, they have to be the good guys. It's like, okay, why can't the Skrulls just be bad guys and shapeshift and then invade Earth, and then no one knows who's a Skrull and who's not a Skrull? That is a great phase, I think. I think that would be a great phase 4, but you know, maybe Galactus and Silver Surfer, that might be the future. Who knows? Peabody says, Alita likes chocolate more. Oh my gosh, that's right, Peabody. Oh my gosh. Alita. She's my girl. That guy says, so things like snapping people out of existence gets their attention and can bring Apocalypse down on the typical being, which even Thanos is without the gauntlet. Talia Al Ghul says, this is bullcrap. This is bullcrap. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark. Stevie says, insanity and genius are very closely related. Just act and do whatever you want. That is a true statement about insanity. Scorpio says, I'm just hoping Sony doesn't remove Spider-Man after Far From Home, but unless Sony Disney make a brand new deal, he's gone after. I'm pretty damn sure he's going to be gone. Yeah, and then you're going to be even more confused because then it's going to be like, okay, so now we're getting a new Spider-Man universe reboot? Again, Sony? Come on, man. Come on, man. Perth Comics says, my local cinema reserves 50 seats in the middle front row for all movies and not just Captain Marvel. I would say they are contingency seats. Well, Perth, thank you so much. I actually did not know that, man. Thank you for letting me know that. So, there you have it, man. So, apparently in some countries, at least where Perth lives, they reserve those seats, and that makes a lot of sense as being seats that they want to have just in case they need them. I know that for us, you know, at the theater that I worked at, we had those front row seats and they suck. They would never be reserved because they're like the last resort, and they suck because you're literally like, oh, look, it's a movie. And no one wants to sit there. So that's interesting though. Per, thank you for that information. I'll have to hold on to that because I know a lot of people have been using that statistic to say, look, this proves. But I wonder if they ever looked to see if other movies were doing it. Per, thank you for that information. Talia Al Ghul says, which Harry Potter actor? Daniel Radcliffe. From what I think. Dan Maloney says, just sent them to you. Thank you, Dan. Cannot wait to check it out. A Glitch Gnome says, I'm happy that Alita has grossed more worldwide than Solo. It's the little victories. And also, too, it's better received. I mean, I can't wait for it to be released. I'm more excited to see what Alita does on Blu-ray. Because if it really does well, I'm going to be excited. You know? That's the reason why Edge of Tomorrow is finally getting a sequel. Is because it didn't make money at the box office. Edge of Tomorrow made lost more money at the box office than Alita is going to by the end of its run. And it's getting a sequel. You want to know why? Because it was marketed terribly. People saw it later on home video, loved it, bought the DVDs and Blu-rays. I think the same thing will happen with Alita. That's why I really do think we will get that sequel that we deserve. PewDiePie VVV says, I want to see the doggy. The doggies are sleeping. You can see there's one on the chair right now. She's in a little ball and she's asleep. I don't want to wake them up. I can't mess up their beauty sleep, guys. I can't do it. I cannot mess it up. Ada Vickery says, my vote for Wolverine would be Hugh Jackman. Watching an aging, pinned, battle-weary hero would make an interesting change. Maybe we would get the film Hancock should have been. Well, Hugh Jackman, I think Hugh Jackman's done, man. Again, as much, I would love Hugh Jackman to do that role forever. Seriously, I would love for him to do it for the next 20 years to see literally him age on screen. But they've already aged him in Logan, which was an amazing movie. And if you're going to finish off that character and that storyline in that timeline, I guess you could even say, Logan was the perfect ending. Seriously. And I don't want to see that. You know, it's kind of like with wrestling. People don't know I'm a wrestling fan. They do certain retirement angles a certain way, and when it's perfect, you're like, yes. Like, for example, the Ric Flair retirement ending was perfect. With, you know, you had Shawn Michaels from across the ring, seeing Ric Flair barely getting to his feet, you know, asking for him to essentially, like, give him the super kick, the Sweet Chin Music, and he was crying and it's so emotional, and then Shawn Michaels just whispers, you know, like, I love you, and then, you know, kicks his head off. I know it's wrestling, guys, I'm sorry, but, and then pins him, and it's like, it was perfect. But then they ruined it. So they ruined it because, or rather Ric Flair ruined it because then he went off to another promotion and wrestled again. So the whole retirement thing, retiring for the ring thing just never worked. And so that's what I feel like you need to have. You know, I think that Logan should be, I think Logan is the perfect send-off. So basically, don't pull Ric Flair. Don't go off to TNA and wrestle again, and then basically do away with your retirement match that was perfect. Let's not have that happen. I'm not petting the dog. You cursed, reported. Hyman says, Wolverine in the comics was like 5'4", so I wouldn't mind Zac Efron despite the height. Yes, indeed. James Hancock says, prequel dialogue, I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough, and here everything is soft and smooth. Try and tell me that isn't epic cinematography. It is, again, well shot. Terrible. What word did I say? What word did I say? I don't know what you're talking about. I think we have a troll in the chat. I think we have a new troll in the chat, everybody. I cannot tell. La. Hybrid says, Tom Hardy would have been badass as Wolverine too, but gee damn it, he's Venom. Yeah, but you know what? Venom was fun. First 30 minutes were terrible. The rest of the movie was just fine. Talia Al Ghul says, the next big bad in the MCU is Emperor Woke. Please, no. No. Aiden Vickery says, excuse any of the typos of mine. 50-year-old eyes at 2:15 a.m. Aiden Vickery, go to bed, man. Hybrid says, Alita and anime waifus is greater than Captain SJW and her army. Slasher Neon says, Alita 2 must have chocolate-covered oranges. Yes. Oh, my God. Let's see. Trey Chester says, have you seen 4K 77 or 4K 83 yet? We don't need to wait for Lucasfilm anymore. Can't wait for 4K 80. Trey Chester, what are you talking about? I don't know what these are. Contact me, man. Yes, I cannot wait, guys, to own the Blu-ray. Cannot wait to own the Blu-ray for Alita. Sticky B says, admit it, you try out your high voice in the shower sometimes. My high voice? I don't sing as much in the shower, actually. I sing randomly. I have no control over it. Hybrid says, indeed, Odin 2049 did well in DVD sales too. That's correct. Top 3 in 2017, and The Last Jedi was sitting on shelves. I know, seriously. Yeah, that's a great point. So Blade Runner 2049 lost lots of money at the box office. Cost lots of money, did not make lots of money. But that's an example of why Endgame needs to be careful, because one of the reasons why 2049 didn't make money is because it was like a 2-hour 45-minute, 2-hour 50-minute movie. So it only had so many show times per day. Because, you know, at that rate, you can only have so many, you know, changes. You can only have so many cleanings of the screen in order to fit it all within the actual day. So they're going to have to be very careful with that. I'm sure they've already thought all that through. But as long as they give us the best movie possible, that's what I'm looking for. Scorpio says, I'm off to see Jordan Peele's Us on Friday night at the cinema. I'm pretty excited for it. I loved Get Out. Are you going to see Us? What do you think of Get Out? I liked Get Out a lot. I thought it was very well done. My problem with the Jordan Peele movies is the critics. And I'm dedicating a video to this very topic, is because they, in their reviews, when they're supposed to be talking about the film from an objective standpoint, that's always been my view of critics, is that they're supposed to be objective viewers of film, is that all of them are loving this movie because of its social commentary. And it's like, no. The reason why I like his movies so much is because they're good movies that can stand on their own. Do they have social commentary in them? Yes, because he's admitted as much. But the reason why they're good is because they don't hammer you over the head with it. He gives you a good, entertaining movie that you can enjoy as a popcorn flick. But if you want to dive deeper in, you can. There is more there. Us seems to be doing the same thing, which is why I might go see it. Horror films just don't do it for me. The reason why is because I don't like getting scared. I know, I'm the Allfather. I shouldn't have to say these things, but it's true. But I am still interested in it nonetheless, because the cast looks really good. The trailer sticks with me. It haunts me. Like, seriously, that dun, 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 and all the oh my gosh, there's so many creepy things in it. So I kind of want to see it, and I might go see it on Thursday. I might, maybe. I haven't decided yet. It's playing in Dolby too, and I love Dolby. I don't know. I'm torn. At some point, maybe. But I did really like, Get Out a lot. John Early says, I've heard great things about John Cryer's Lex Luthor on Supergirl. John Cryer was Charlie Sheen's brother in 2.5 Men. Oh, okay, interesting. Yeah, here's the thing. I stopped watching Supergirl because Supergirl went woke. So basically they dedicated an entire season, or at least the first half of an entire season, to a character and to her social agenda. And I was like, wait a minute. What does her marriage have to do with Supergirl? Why are we focusing on this instead of on superhero stuff? I just didn't get it. Didn't understand it. Peabody says, by the time you get here, you will have a new place. Pick you up from the airport. You won't be in a closet. Tech Guy says, well, they really want to do a Wolverine versus Hulk battle movie because it's such an epic classic Marvel thing. See, that's the thing that we have with this deal, is that there's a lot of team-ups. There's a lot of verses that you can do. Could be very exciting. K-Dog says, what happened with the X-Men and Logan was kind of sad. It's kind of sad knowing that that's where it ended. It is sad, but it also just works. Like, from a narrative standpoint, it's like, no, this makes sense from a logical perspective, and I think it's a solid ending. I really love Logan. Logan might be one of my favorite movies. It's one of those movies that the more you think about it, the more you just like it. And I like that movie. Talia Gold says, I hope not as well, but all the signs are pointing towards that. As far as box office, yeah. Roe Baron says, singing in the sunlight, laughing in the moonlight, having a wonderful time. Singing in the sunlight, laughing in the moonlight, having a wonderful time. The first time I was introduced to that song was in SpongeBob. And I love its use. I love how they use, If anyone doesn't know, that's actually by an artist called Tiny Tim. And, yeah. Love the use of Tiny Tim in that. Aiden Vickery says, don't tell me to go to bed, young man. I will. I'm the All-Father. I'll tell you whatever I want to tell you. Tina says, I'll be seeing the real Captain Marvel on Saturday, 2 weeks before the actual opening. I promise no spoilers. Thank you, Tina, very much. Yeah, that's right. They are releasing Shazam early for certain people. So I'm excited for Shazam. Really am. Zan Water, Zac Efron could be Wolverine's son from Ultimate Universe. Also, I think the ats to your phones aren't highlighting for you. So here's the thing. They are, but they have to be, like, perfect. I think that's the thing. They have to be, like, perfect. Perfect. Trey Chester says, sorry about that. They are 4K scans of the original Star Wars trilogy by fans and film reels, the original versions. Trey Chester, then yes. I have the Harmy edition of the despecialized editions. That's how I know them as. So, yes. Despecialized edition Star Wars, best way to view the films. I have all three, the Harmy's version of it, and I tend to give them away. As well as gifts. I give them away as prizes. 8-Bit Snake Boy says, Blade Runner 2049 may have flopped, but it made me very happy and gave us fans joy. See what I did there? It was a long time coming, but definitely worth it in my opinion. Dune next. Agree. Villeneuve, who did Blade Runner, is also doing Dune as well. I think he's going to do a great job. Hans Zimmer is apparently on to do the score for Dune. I think that film has the makings of another amazing project by Villeneuve. Denis Villeneuve has not made a bad film yet. Not made a bad film yet. So I think Dune's going to be great too. Really hope it gets more box office love though, just because I want him to get more support. I really want him to get more support because Blade Runner 2049 was a masterpiece. It really was. And it's sad that not enough people saw it in theaters. Because, yeah, it looks great on Blu-ray. It looks great in the home theater. Can't match it on the big screen, though. Can't. Harmon says, I did not like Get Out too much. Get outs and no get ins. 1 out of 10 joke. It was great. Just kidding. Also, have you ever heard of the Get Out Challenge? So this is something I did at summer camp a couple years ago. Actually, no, probably 3 years ago at this point when that movie came out. And so basically what it is, I found out about it on a night, like a late night show, because I think it was Jordan Peele that was introducing it. And so apparently what it is like you run towards your friends. So you know that there's that guy in the movie that runs towards the camera in that kind of like really like official way, and then the last minute turns. So you do that. You run up to the person. You run up to like a person in the same way, and then you have to figure out which way to go, because either both of you cut the same direction and you run into each other, or you miss each other. So me and a couple of friends would do that a couple of times at summer camp, and it was a lot of fun. So yeah, I like Get Out. Tina says, and I told you that Supergirl's stepsister didn't even get married because the actress playing the sister's gay love interest left the show, so down went that storyline. I know, seriously, they built up the storyline so much that they just gave up on the superhero stuff, and then the actress left the show, and then it's like, okay, well, I guess never mind. CF Production says, here's the thing. If Josh Brolin has the time to play Cable and Thanos, why wouldn't Tom Hardy have the time to play Venom and Wolverine? That's a great point. I'm sure for the right money, he would. So, never say never is what they say, right? Never say never. Mega81, congratulations, Odin. Check out my Karate Kid review in preparation for Cobra Kai Season 2. Thank you very much, Mega81. Go check out the Mega Jetty 1 channel. Hybrid says, Iron Fist punching Luke Cage versus Luke Thor's hammer beating on Cap's shield. Which unstoppable force first and unmovable object is the best? Thor's hammer. Thor's hammer, especially. Yes. My son, of course. Thor. Tina, tiptoe through the two. Yes, tiptoe through the tulips. Don Early says, it's sad and depressing that I am able to co-write fan fiction that's more entertaining than The Flash season 3, 4, and 5 and most of Supergirl. Yeah, but it also makes sense when you actually watch those shows and you actually witness the writing firsthand. WB says, I heard that Black Swan reference perfect. Glad you did. Glad you did. You get me. You get me. And Victor says, okay, this might only sound interesting to me, but maybe a vid one day where you forget the critic and tell us as a Catholic your views on The Exorcist. That might be more prone to the Welcome to Asgard channel to talk about the Catholic views in a more like direct way. So, yeah. Somebody says, get out, no sung and plays unless you are weak-minded. Yeah, seriously. Hybrid says, I don't expect for Dune to be the best movie ever made. I just expect it to be the top 5 Villeneuve films. I'm lowering my expectations. No, I expect it to be a solid film. That's all I want. A solid film, and then I'm good. Soulsass says, did you hear that they're going to do a new He-Man movie, but if they want it to be like Thor Ragnarok, it could be good. Ooh, I do like Thor Ragnarok. I do like Thor Ragnarok. A lot. A lot. Scorpio says, in the comics, Logan is based off of it was Logan who killed the X-Men. Mysterio made him hallucinate, and he thought he was fighting villains. That's right. I've heard about this. I've heard about that. That could be a cool storyline. Scorpio says, afterwards, he's so guilt-ridden, he attempts suicide by laying his head on a train track and letting trains repeatedly run over it. The Old Man Logan comics are pretty damn dark. Dude, I would love to see that. Also, guys, I'm going to start to wrap things up, so I'm just going to try and get to these last chats before we sign off for the night, because I've actually been going on a lot longer than I thought that I would. How long are we going now? Oh, we're over 2 hours. Pretty good stream. Kekado says, yeah, don't get me wrong. Logan was a great movie. Wolverine is the only reason why I watch X-Men movies. Wolverine has always been my favorite X-Men. Well, also, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine has been fantastic. Zenwater says, no, you need to give us your Catholic perspective on Sister Act 2 and Sister Act. Oh my gosh, Sister Act 1 and 2, I love. Not gonna lie, the music in it, like, I cannot hear those songs. Anytime at church now, when we sing, oh my gosh, what's the official name of the song? But, like, Hail, Holy Queen enthroned above, oh Maria. Anytime I hear that song, and it does get played in church sometimes, not at my church where I go to because there's no music at the mass I go to, I serve, but whenever I go to a different churches, if I ever hear that, I cannot help but go, Hail, Holy Queen enthroned above, oh Maria. I love it. Oh my God. I have Sister Act, guys, there's a special place in my heart for Sister Act. And Sister Act 2 is so much better than people think. I mean, I'm sorry. Oh, happy day when Jesus washed my sins away. Hybrid says, my thoughts exactly. Odin, glad that you agree. Meg81 says, that's why Supergirl sucks. They focus too much on the wrong thing, narrow-minded leftist politics, when they should have developed a whole season-length story, no plot of the week. So very true. Hybrid says, the linguist from Game of Thrones is also joined to do the language in Dune. Ooh, I like that. John Early says, the greatest episode of Supergirl is where she was affected by red kryptonite and she goes bad. It reminded me of emo Peter Parker from Spider-Man 3 if it was a chick. Mage81, you have a good one. Oh my God, Sister Act 1 and 2 is so good. Dan Maloney says, good night, my friend. Marvelous Wave, thank you very much for that. I will try and, yeah, Dan Maloney, if you can DM me Marvelous Wave so I can remember, as well as the pictures. I'm definitely going to check those out. Alex McCarthy says, I bet a Savage Avengers movie would be cool. Wolverine, Venom, Elektra. Oh, yeah, I like that. Cineby says, our pages are wonderful, huh? I did not forget. I was just trying to get all the chats that I could out of the way first. Harvey says, thank you for the amazing stream, my brother. God bless and good night to you. Sticky V, just know we all support you in your quest for a better job. We all love you, Odin, and wish you all the best. Sticky V, thank you very much, man. All right, so a huge shout out to all of my patrons, including A Great Jedi, Adam Shawhan, Albertus Magnus, Aman, Yosef Marcos, Delisa732, Dion, Edward Coleman, Enrique Evangelista, Entertainment Hacker, Frank the Tank and the Shawhan Wiener Dog Clan, Harold Francis, the Hunka Chunka, Funky Monkey, Inflamed Wood, Intertrap Productions, Jason Clark, Jeffrey Toon, Jonathan Jerembeck, Laura Story, Matthew Cadis, Mr. Peabody, and his evil twin, Outpost Dyer, Perpetual Punster, Projar Sarif, Proper Jeremy, Randall J. Hoover, Shenglong, Sir Lance Elato, Theodora, the K-Man, the DJD Show, those two bald guys, Tina B, and Wolfgang Lounge. Thank you very much for being my patrons. You're all amazing patrons indeed. I truly appreciate the support. K-Dog, of course, Jackman is awesome. He definitely fit that role, and good night. Good night to you, K-Dog. 152 likes, awesome. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this stream, the 16K live stream. Dude, we had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. Hope you did as well. Hope you maybe learned something. I learned stuff all the time, and it's always great. IB Boy says, great stream, Father. 2 hours of entertainment with my favorite crowd of people, too. Glad that I could do a little bit of a longer stream tonight, too, so that was a lot of fun. Definitely was not planning on this originally, and really great to have it all together. I always love doing these streams. Again, you give me life, and once again, guys, thank you so much for all the support, for all the prayers. Again, I was glad I was able to share that, guys, with you, but as you guys know, obviously, again, if there are any students or parents or whatever watching, just know that I'm going to be fine, and I will be there for you guys for as long as I can in whatever way that I can, because you also, just like this chat, just like these streams, just like YouTube gives me life, you also guys give me life too, because seeing you guys grow, seeing you guys become the men that I hope you to be is such a rewarding experience, and I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. And again, I don't know how many are watching, if anyone's watching, but just know I care about you guys, and that I'm gonna be here for you as often as I can. So thank you so much. Thank you also, guys, again in the chats. You are all amazing and beautiful people. Seriously, thank you for all the support, and it's just been truly amazing. This has been an awesome ride. 16,000 subscribers. Cannot wait for the next major milestone. And thank you again for everyone that super chatted tonight, to all my patrons, to all the people in the chat. Seriously, you're awesome. Love you guys so very much. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Thank you again for your prayers and for your support. And as always, God bless.